Stadium in Philadelphia. One of the oldest rivalries in the history of the National Football League as the Giants face the Eagles. Pat Summerall here with John Madden, and this matchup today, well, it's just simply a must-win for both teams to stay alive in the playoff picture. John, the Eagles have made some changes. Bubby Brister is going to start at quarterback. They've made 2 changes in their offensive line. What effect is that going to have?
Yeah, I think the thing that Rich Kotite, the Eagle coach, talks about is we have to play these games like they're 2 playoff games, because if they win this game and next week's game, they're in the playoffs. And it's not that everything was Randall Cunningham's fault, but he felt that he had to make a change at quarterback. He remembers a year ago, Bubby Brister came in and won the last 3 games for him. Bubby Brister is a different guy. He's not like Randall Cunningham. He's a highly emotional guy. He gets in the huddle, he yells at the players, gets everyone going, throws those quick short passes, play action type things. And I think that Rich Kotite was just looking for a change, and that's what Bubby Brister is.
Well, the Giants, of course, went through that long losing streak. Now they've got a winning streak going, and as you talk to them, and we did yesterday, Dan Reeves and his quarterback Dave Brown, you can just feel the confidence coming back to them.
I think Dan Reeves did an outstanding job. I mean, he stayed with a lot of his people, and you can just see the confidence like you talked about in Dave Brown. He started out, he had a lot of confidence early, and then they won those first 3 games. Then they lost 7 in a row, and Dave Brown's confidence went down with that. Then they started winning again, and each week he's getting more and more confident, and he wants to carry that into and through today's game.
He'll have his chance first as the Giants won the toss. And they'll go on offense first as the Eagles. Jeff Wilkins is about set to kick off to Dave Meggett and Arthur Marshall. Wilkins. And Meggett will start it at the 1. Tripped up inside the 15. And let's have a look at the Giant offense, led by number 17, Dave Brown. Most of those 15 interceptions came during that losing streak. In front, Elliott Roberts, Brian Williams, Lance Smith is back, Doug Riesenberg is back. Doug been playing with injuries throughout the year. Hampton, Pierce, Sherrard, Callaway, and Cross will open on offense for the Giants. Rodney Hampton is the deep back behind Brown. Single back, 2 tight ends, both on the right. They come in that direction. Hampton outside the 20. Tripped by Andy Harmon. He's had a great year. The front 4, Flory starting, William Perry, Harmon, and Fuller. Behind them, William Thomas, Britt Hager, and Bill Romanowski. And their secondary, the veteran Eric Allen and Greg Jackson, Michael Zordich, and Mark McMillan. Second and 3. Hampton got 7. He again is the lone setback. The 2 tight ends are to the left this time, and that's where they go. No gain this time, Mike Flores.
Well, the Eagles are just playing the run, Pat. On the first 2 downs, they had an 8-man front. They had their strong safety, Mike Zordich. They had him right up on the line of scrimmage. If you look here, he's right up in this area playing like another linebacker. So they had 8 men in that box, and they're just daring the Giants to throw the ball.
And it's pretty tough to run, John, with 8 in the box.
That's right, you can, and there's always going to be at least 1 free guy.
Passing down. Pierce in motion. Brown back to throw it. Going deep to Sherrard. Over his head. Sherrard hustled out of bounds, but that was certainly very uncatchable. The Giants will have to punt.
And I think the Giants played right into the Eagles' defensive hands that time. Run on first down, run on second down against 8-man front, and then throw against the pass defense.
Horan back to punt. And Jeff Seidner back deep for the Eagles. Horan, the left-footed punter. A very good directional kicker, usually.
Right, he's always going to kick on or outside the numbers.
This is a good kick. Chases Seidner to the sidelines and goes out of bounds. And the Eagle offensive unit, led by Bubby Brister, will start at their own 32-yard line. Brown's first go at the Eagle defense unsuccessful. Brister still in conference on the sideline. 9 years he's been in the NFL. In front of him, Williams, Joe Panos is the new left guard, Alexander Holmes, and a new right tackle, Tom McHale. Walker and Garner will start in the backfield. Barnett and Williams wide, and Maurice Johnson is the tight end. Mark Bavaro, who normally would start, has a bad toe, but he's supposed to play as the day progresses. 1st and 10 Eagles, their own 32. Brister will throw it in a hurry. Gets it to Walker. Outside the 35. Stopped by Bailey, and let's look at the Giant defense. Strahan, Howard, Fox, and Hamilton, the front four. Brooks, Bailey, and Miller, the linebackers. Secondary, Randolph, Booty, Williams, and Felipe Sparks. 2nd and 5. Walker and Garner behind Brister. Williams was the man in motion, and that's Garner. Hit as he ran into Walker's back. Really, Brooks stacked it up.
That's the thing you want to do, is you want to, on that lead play, you want to take the lead blocker and knock him back where he came from, and that'll usually stuff up the hole. You see what's going to happen is the lead blocker comes into the hole. That's Herschel Walker. He's just going to get stopped. You see right there the block. He goes to block Strahan. Strahan just takes him on and knocks him right back into Charlie Garner.
3rd and 7. Eagles at their own 35. Brister out to Garner. Garner out of bounds, and the Eagles will have to punt. Knocked out by Thomas Randolph.
You know, and that's the trouble with that. Get rid of the ball quickly, throw to your back, throw short. That's good if you do it on 1st down, even if you do it on 2nd down. But when you do it on 3rd and 7 or 8, and you throw a 3 or 4 yard pass, you still have to punt, and that will never make any sense.
That doesn't make much sense, I was about to say. Brian Barker back deep to kick for the Eagles, and Meggett will receive for the Giants. Barker's kick is high to the 12. Meggett to the 24. Giants will take over. 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, where safety, reliability, performance, and value are never optional. By Blockbuster Video, make it a blockbuster night. And by Subway, the place where fresh is the taste.
Back at Veterans Stadium, 0-0 between the Giants and the Eagles. Giants' 2nd go on offense. 1st and 10 from their 24. Hampton is deep. Kenyon Rashid is the other back. Fake the Hampton. Callaway wide open. Chris Callaway gets across the 45 to about the 44 in Philadelphia territory. Stopped by Michael Zordich.
And I think that's exactly what you have to do. Do this on 1st down. You go a play pass. That holds that secondary. You see what he did to Eric Allen. Eric Allen was in his zone. He got him pushed. Callaway got him turned, and then he ran underneath him. Zordich, who was playing the run, finally got back there to tackle Chris Callaway.
31-yard gain. Excuse me, John.
No, I was just saying that's an excellent call on 1st down, going play pass.
See if they do it again. Hampton deep. Hampton for a couple.
See, anytime you see 36 up there, that's Mike Zordich, and he was up there again on that 1st down. That means, again, that they're playing 8 guys. They're playing 8 guys in the front, so they only have, he's playing, you see they have 8 guys right here in this box. Here's Zordich right here. He's playing up there just like a linebacker, and it's tough to run, but it's very easy to throw.
2nd down. Inside the 40, about the 37. Stopped by William Perry. Bill Romanowski with an assist.
They're working on Corey Miller's toe, it looks like. You know, everyone in the league says that the worst football field in the league is this stadium right here, this field, this artificial turf. And it looked like they may be working on turf toe here, but there's probably more turf toe and turf injuries on this field than any other.
Well, they're making some changes. They're going to change the seats around the field and the surface itself as soon as the Eagles season is over.
They're going to make a lot of other changes, too, I bet.
Yeah, that don't involve the field. Brown outside to Meggett. Hit by William Thomas and almost beheaded.
That's one thing about always knowing where you are. Watch Dave Meggett here. He's going to come out. He's coming in motion, and he has to wait for the ball to snap. Then he can go upfield, and he just runs a quick flat pattern, knowing where that first down is, trying to get there. But William Thomas was right there, too.
4th and 1, and the Giants are going to punt.
That's why you don't want to throw the ball or run a pattern short of that first down marker, because this is what happens. You have to punt.
Remember, the up back here in this punt formation is Meggett, but they snap it back to Horan. Off the side of his foot, a shank. Directional punter he is, but not that direction. The Eagles take over. Week 16, one more week to go in the NFL season of 1994, and here's the playoff update. As we have it, Denver's out, of course, losing yesterday to San Francisco. The Jets are out of the playoffs. Atlanta out of the picture. San Diego won, and they clinched the AFC West finally. Dallas has a first-round bye, and the 49ers have that home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
And we should congratulate them. I mean, the way they're playing, they deserve that. They earned it, and they're playing better than anyone else in the league. Maybe
better than they ever have. Garner was the ball carrier. Things were out of sync from the beginning. Marcus Buckley came in to make the stop.
You're going to see the ball just come right in here, and this is what the Giant defensive linemen want to hold the offensive linemen and let the linebackers hit the hole. Now you watch here, the defensive linemen are going to hold, grab the line, not let the linebackers get blocked. And Buckley just came in and just penetrated and got in the backfield free.
2nd and 13. Williams is the man in motion. Brister gets it to Walker. Tripped up just after he made the reception by Jesse Armstead.
Yeah, the Giants did an interesting thing by that punt. They only gained 12 yards. You know, they had 4th down on the 35-yard line, and a couple of that, and you wonder why they didn't go for it on 4th down. Well, they were probably trying to punt the ball inside the 10, and then Horan gets a bad punt. So, and that whole exchange by punting, they only picked up 12 yards of field position. And if you knew that that was going to happen, then of course you would have gone for it then, because why not?
Herschel Walker stood out wide this time. Pass is incomplete, intended for Fred Barnett, behind him just a bit. He's hit by John Booty, the ex-Eagle.
Yeah, John Booty not only played for the Philadelphia Eagles, the ex-Eagles, you say, but he was married by Reggie White.
Another ex-Eagle.
Right. Reggie White was the reverend that married John Booty.
Reggie White's been a reverend since he was 17 years old.
And it was his first wedding, too. John Booty was Reggie White's first wedding.
Good punt. Meggett retreats to the 20. The Eagles fear him probably more than anybody else. Meggett is down, though, as their coverage is good. Special teams do their work. Otis Smith down to make the stop on Meggett. Back at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, 0-0, Giants-Eagles, first quarter. Total yards has been not much so far. 7:14 left to play in the first quarter. Dan Reeves done a very effective job. First down pass by Brown if he has time, and he doesn't. Flores, Andy Harmon, William Fuller converge.
That's the thing you have to do. Here's Flores right here. He's going to come from that side. Now, if you're going to do this, if you're going to play pass on first down, you have to get the pass protection. They had Flores double. Flores went inside of Jumbo Elliott and then inside of William Roberts to get to Dave Brown. You can't let that happen.
Not when you have him doubled, you can't.
No, they were both turning out, and they turned out so well, they gave him the inside highway.
Brown to throw it. Callaway. First down, Giants at about the 34.
Hey, Eric Allen is playing so loose over in that right corner, it looks like they can hit Callaway or any of their receivers in front of them all day.
I'm not sure exactly why he left. Something's hurt.
Yeah, he caught that ball and then was kind of thrown to the ground by Eric Allen. And talk about this turf and how hard it is here.
Yeah. Hampton deep. One of his favorite plays. It may lose some of its favoritism. There's Callaway over on the sideline.
Callaway is a valuable guy on this Giant team, not only as a receiver, but also as a blocker.
Here's where he got thrown down by Eric Allen.
Yeah, you see, Eric Allen has him up around the neck, and he just wrestles him and just throws him to the ground there. And looks like if he did get hurt, it was more hurt hitting the ground than it was the thing. And he had a shoulder injury. He had a bad shoulder coming into this game.
Second down, Brown will go through with it. The Eagles jumped offside. The pass sails over the head of Sherrard. Fuller jumped early.
We were talking to Dan Reeves yesterday about Chris Callaway.
Yeah, he was saying what a valuable player he is because of that blocking ability.
Number 95 defense. 5 yards. Repeat second down.
Gordon McCarter, the referee.
And he was talking about how, important he is to the running game. You always think of wide receivers and you think of passing game, but that if we don't have two tight ends in there, Chris Callaway really becomes, as a blocker, that second tight end.
Arthur Marshall has replaced Callaway. It's cross in motion. This is Hampton with the ball. Chased backwards again by Rick Flores. Mike Flores.
Did you see what Mike Flores did that time? It was to Aaron Pierce. It was unbelievable. I mean, Pierce comes to block him. Now watch, Pierce is going to come here to block him. He goes in, and Flores just takes Pierce, number 84, and throws him right into the back. Watch him right up there on top. He just takes him, spins him around, and throws him right into Rodney Hampton. What are you talking about? You can't do that. Holy moly, that's a maul. Now that is a great play by Mike Flores.
I'll tell you what.
Oh, where'd that one come from?
3rd and 10, Meggett in the backfield.
They got to take time out after that one. Pierce better start bending his knees or the whole thing's going to go backward.
That's a Giant timeout. So they'll have 2 left. 4:34 left to play in the first quarter. No score.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Coors Light. Naturally brewed, reach for the silver bullet, the pure taste of the Rockies.
Now let's go back and look at that play again.
Well, here's Mike Flores here. Here's Aaron Pierce going to try and block him. Watch what happens to Pierce. As I said, you have to bend your knees. He didn't bend his knees. He got straightened up and spun around. And Rodney Hampton saying, where did that white jersey come from?
That's one we don't want to see again if you're a player. Meggett on 3rd down. That's Pierce in motion this time, walking away from the line of scrimmage, and here's Brown. Picked off. Zordich makes the interception. Still on his feet is Zordich to the 40. And the Eagles will take over at the Giant 40.
I tell you, it's going to be Mike Flores again. If you watch him, he's the first guy that makes the pressure here. Jumbo Elliott's having trouble over there with him. You see, that's Bert Grossman, excuse me. Bert Grossman starts up the field, and he gets in there. Fuller comes in from the other side, then Grossman, and they flush him out. He starts to run to the right, and he throws it right to Mike Zordich. Ooh, and then Andy Harmon made a block there at the end. Now, the first guy in there was Fuller. The second guy was Bert Grossman.
Bubby Brister, the quarterback for Philadelphia, asking for quiet. Brister sends Barnett in motion. To Walker. Up the middle. And Herschel Walker surges for about 4 more yards.
Yeah, there's a lot of things about throwing an interception. One is you give the ball to the other team. Two is you have to become a defensive player and look who those defensive linemen look for.
The quarterback.
Yeah, if they're gonna block someone, everyone looks for the quarterback. Turn on the quarterback, because when he throws the interception, he turns from offense to defense. Your defense turns from defense to offense. Those guys were rushing them and now become blockers.
That last surge by Herschel Walker got an Eagle first down. Rich Kotite with his offensive coordinator, Zeke Bratkowski.
Rich is looking at both sides of that card. They have all their plays down there and all their situations. I don't think you saw it on that front page. You looked to see what was on the back of that front page to call this one. This could be a good one.
Walker and Garner behind Brister. And here's Bubby Brister to throw it. Incomplete. I'm not sure. Calvin Williams and Fred Barnett, both on that side of the field, that went in between them.
Yeah, one of the things Bubby Brister was saying that he's going to have to calm down a little, because here's Calvin Williams, and we see right there is Fred Barnett, and Barnett runs an up. Calvin Williams runs a hook.
He was open.
And Brister doesn't throw it to either one of them.
2nd and 10.
To a tweener.
Garner slipped in the backfield and then slipped over the left side for about 3. Stopped by Booty and Carlton Bailey.
Getting right in there behind Joe Panos. Joe Panos is one of the changes that the Eagles made in their offensive line. Joe Panos starting at left guard today for Antone Davis. He's a fiery guy. We talked to him yesterday.
Yeah.
Panos, yeah. And he's a rookie out of Wisconsin, 6'2", 296 pounds. This is really the second time he played, because he did play 3 quarters against Houston. But he said, if I'm going to make a mistake, it's going to be a full-speed mistake.
Brister out of the shotgun. Bavaro. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Mark Bavaro, 27 yards away, scores for the Eagles.
Bavaro's been out the last 3 or 4 weeks, and that was one of the things Bubby Brister talked about yesterday. He said, I want to get Mark Bavaro back. He said, I'm really happy he's going to play. And he said, when we get down inside the 20, he's the guy that I want to go to. And he's the first guy. He runs that post back, and he is still, he doesn't run like he used to, but he's still so strong that guys still bounce off him. Remember all those years for the Giants, how they used to.
That's still part of the highlight film. Murray's extra point is good, and Mark Bavaro was on the table for treatment yesterday, but it worked.
And Bubby Brister is watching Mark Bavaro all the way. He's his go-to guy. Throws a perfect pass, and just watch him. They just bounce right off Mark Bavaro. I've always thought if you could define a football player, Mark Bavaro would be one of the guys you talk about.
Especially a tight end.
Watch Joe Spanos here now doing a good job on Eric Howard. I tell you, he's up in there, and he has a man-to-man.
And the Eagles lead after the touchdown from Brister to Bavaro, 7-0.
But Joe Panos was saying yesterday that he's so excited to play that he said he may not do everything right, but what he does do, he's going to do aggressively, and he's going to do it full speed. Look at this, Pat. His full name was Zoas Panagiotis, and he went, and when he was in kindergarten, he couldn't spell it. So he asked his parents if he could change his name to something he could spell. So he came up with Joe Panos. So that's how he became Joe Panos.
I think that was a good idea.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but he's big enough. He weighs 296 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, he's big enough to have that 15-letter name on his back.
But for now, he's Joe Panos. Oscar Marshall returned the kickoff. He had some room, almost broke it. Cut down at about the 25 by Derek Frazier.
You know, and coaches and players and everyone always talk about how turnovers kill you. You see, it was a 4-play drive. They only had 40 yards to go, and that was because of the turnover that Mike Zordich got him.
If you go back through the years and look at the most crucial statistics, sometimes I think we get lost in statistics, but that one always remains a constant, that turnover.
Yeah, and then once you get the turnover, what you do with it, the Eagles did it perfectly.
Hampton going left. For not much, a couple. Stopped by William Thomas.
They're still working over there on Corey Miller's ankle. You see that he did have a toe thing. He had that bandaged up, and now they're retaping the ankle.
He's on the hot seat.
They have a lot of different kinds of tapes and bandages and stuff to get that footwork. It's amazing when you get to this deep in the season how much tape is on these players.
Oh, yeah. Pass is complete. The umpire couldn't quite get out of the way, and Mike Sherrard is taken down by Michael Zordich.
Well, eventually Mike Sherrard is going to have to run those pass patterns deeper than the umpire.
Yep. That won't get you many points.
That's right. A tight end can run a pattern at the umpire. The umpire is the official that's right behind the defense, and he's only about 3 yards deep. So when a wide receiver is running into this guy right there, the umpire, he is running very, very shallow patterns.
There are not going to be many points on the board when that happens. Sheed and Hampton. And here's Dave Brown back to throw it. Pass is caught for a first down by Chris Callaway, who's back. Back with pain, but that's the answer this time of year. You got to play with a few hurts.
And that's the thing that, you know, Dave Brown is going to have to do, or this Giant offense is going to have to loosen up this Eagle defense, because Bud Carson, the defensive coordinator of the Eagles, is going to stop your run first, and he's going to dare you to pass. And that's what Bud's doing here. He's ganging up in that run. He's not going to let Rodney Hampton have anything easy, and he's going to make Dave Brown pass the ball.
Fake to Hampton. Brown going deep. Gerard over his head.
And then Dave Brown has to hit those when you do that, because they had a ganged up. Now, when you gang up in the run, you're going to get some man-to-man on the whole field. And he had that. He had Mike Sherrard there. He had him man-to-man all the way against Mark McMillan. There was no safety in there. There was no help. He had him all over the field, and he didn't hit him.
And Sherrard is, of course, about 6 inches taller than Mark McMillan, so he had everything working for him.
But that was good coverage, though, by McMillan,
Yes,
because he had no help whatsoever.
Well, the weather forecast for today was ominous, but it turned out to be a very, very nice day. Again, Brown back to throw, and again he's down. Romanowski and Flores again. What happened to him?
I don't know. He's taking Townsend's place. But you're going to see Romanowski. He's going to come right here. I think Brown is trying to come this way, and then Flores comes from the backside. But watch number 53, Bill Romanowski. See, he takes on Roberts there. That makes Brown stop and forces him right back into Mike Flores.
3rd and 20.
I tell you, Bud Carson is calling a pretty good defensive game. Now, anything the Giants try, he has a defender right there.
Well, it's not the first time for Bud Carson. That's the end of the first quarter with the score. The Philadelphia Eagles 7. The Giants nothing. That's the end of the quarter. 7-0 at Veterans Stadium. The Eagles lead. 3 wide. wide receivers for the Giants this time, all to the right. Brown comes out of there. Outside the 40, not enough for a first down, to about the 42, tripped by Otis Smith. Take a look at the first quarter statistics. Rushing yards, -2 for the Eagles.
Only 12 for the Giants.
There's that big turnover.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about here. The turnover by the Giants, and then the points off, the 7 by the Eagles. And that's the story of the game so far.
Horan back to punt for the Giants. Eagles coming after it. Seidner right around the corner. Howard Cross took him out of bounds. And it remains 7-0 Philadelphia.
By Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By the Citizen Watch Company. Citizen is how the world tells time. And by Red Lobster, for the seafood lover in you.
Back at Veterans Stadium, Pat Summerall with John Madden. 7-0. The Eagles lead the Giants. The Eagles have the ball at their own 18. Charlie Garner was the ball carrier. Keith Hamilton made the defensive play about 4 yards deep in the Eagles' backfield.
Yep, you can't run against what? You can't run against penetration.
Nope.
And that's what the Eagles have been doing to the Giants, and now the Giants give them a little dose of the same thing. We'll see Hamilton here. He's just going to get the pressure. They just get the pressure from this side, and that's the side that Charlie Garner's running to. See, Hamilton just slips inside the tight end's block. No one blocks him. They were trying to slide to his side, and no one blocked him.
2 tight ends for the Eagles. Brister back to throw it. Flag on the play as he goes deep and caught by Fred Barnett. Acrobatic catch, but it's going to be holding against the Eagles.
Yeah, Bubby Brister just did a kick there. That was a heck of a catch by Fred Barnett, though. Fred Barnett isn't a Pro Bowl player this year, but over the years he's been a Pro Bowl player a couple times, and that catch just shows you why. He is a great deep ball catcher.
Well, he came back from very serious knee operations, and that just showed you he's all the way back.
Holding, number 74, offense, half the distance, repeat second down.
74 is Bernard Williams, excuse me.
Yep. Just look at that catch, though. I mean, he goes up in the air and spins and catches that ball with his fingertips. Oof. You know, and Bubby Brister, that's the first time that Bubby Brister has thrown to Fred Barnett in a game, because last year when Bubby Brister was playing, Fred Barnett was out for the season.
Right.
And Bubby Brister hadn't taken a snap all this year until this game.
2nd and 23. Outside to Garner. Garner out of bounds. Right now, let's take you back to James Brown in Hollywood for a McDonald's game break.
All right, Patty, went to the closing seconds in the Falcons and Packers game. Brett Favre looking for someone. 14 seconds left. Favre runs and finds pay dirt. That provided the winning margin as Green Bay comes up big, 21-17. Back to Pat and John.
Back at Veterans Stadium, Packers improve their record, and they stay alive in the playoff race.
Brett Favre on that play looked like a guy from Kill, Mississippi, didn't he?
He did. Last game in Milwaukee for the Packers. Here's Brister. Out of bounds at about the 20. Picked up a few.
Yeah, Bubby Brister is one of those guys who is real fiery, and in fact, David Alexander, the center of the Eagles, was saying yesterday in the first quarter, we may just have to throw a hose on him to cool him off, to keep him calm, because he's a guy that gets out there and gets awfully excited about things. Like Dave Alexander said, he gets in the huddle and he'll call the plays like 3 times.
Play, play, play.
Yeah, play, play, play. Red right, red right, red right.
Barker back to punt. Meggett fields at the 37. Dave Peckett down at the 45, where the Giants will take over. Herschel Walker. His contributions to the Eagle team are just immeasurable. Randall Cunningham, Zeke Bratkowski in the middle, and Bubby Brister to his right.
What they're doing is looking at the defenses that the Giants used on that last series, and they're talking about situations and when they come up, what they'll be thinking of doing the next time.
1st and 10 Giants. Their own 46. Callaway was the man in motion, and Brown. Flag on the play as McMillan takes Rashid down as soon as he makes the catch.
You know, both these teams said that they wanted to be able to run today, and so far neither of them have had a first down running. And neither of them have had any success running the ball because both defenses are ganging up when the other teams run.
Daring them to throw at the rushing yards. Face mask violation against the Eagles. Richie Kotite. Who did it? Why did they do it?
We'll find out.
Well, we won't find out.
Well, we found out it was a little raspy, but it was on the face mask against the Eagle defense.
First and 10 for the Giants at the Eagle 39.
I'll tell you, the other thing that we did, it was the 15-yard variety, though.
Yeah.
You know, it can be a 5 or a 15. That was a 15-yard penalty.
Which means they meant to do it. Brown just throws it away as he's under pressure.
Yeah, the Fridge was back there. You don't
Yeah.
see that. You don't see that often. Flores was in there, you know, and he's been in there most of the day. But here's the Fridge. Now, Fridge usually plays tough against that run. And he's blocked by William Roberts there. William Roberts starts to get him, and the Fridge just gives him a little push and then goes back inside him. And that's Fridge's pressure right there.
Some of the shelves need tightening, I think.
Well, you know with the Fridge, you know you can't run at him and you can't cut back into him, but he shouldn't get that close to your passer.
Brown again just throws it down. And now the flag. He didn't get the ball back to the line of scrimmage. That's the key.
Yep, and it's the second time that he rolled out right into Bill Romanowski on a blitz. Yeah, you're going to see, he's going to try and roll out to this side, and you're going to see number 53 is going to come on a blitz. You see him fake the thing there? There's Romanowski right there, and Dave Brown just had to throw it away.
They're trying to set up a screen to Hampton.
Intentional grounding. Quarterback in the pocket, threw the ball away to prevent the loss of yards. The spot of the foul was more than 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage, so it was his ball there. Loss of down. We go to third.
Was his ball, but he threw it away.
Right, and it was more than 10 yards, so you don't go back to the original line of scrimmage.
Right.
You keep that as the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 27 is what it all means.
But again, they didn't get Bill Romanowski blocked.
Brown lofting it deep. Eric Allen. Pass was intended for Sherrard, and there are 2 flags dropped on the play.
I think this one could be offensive pass interference.
Yep.
Usually when the official calls it, then runs up towards the referee, it's on the offense. If he stays there, it's on the defense. He came running to the referee.
Center number 88 offense. Penalty decline.
Mike Sherrard.
Mike Sherrard, and it is offensive pass interference, and see, it was going to be an interception right there by Eric Allen, and then Sherrard in essence became the defender, and he really pass interfered with Eric Allen making the interception.
They decline, and the Giants will have to punt. Mike Horan back deep. Jeff Seidner for the Eagles will return. Horan's kick chases Seidner to his left. Signaled fair catch. And the Eagles will take over at the 9. Good job by Mike Horan. First down, Eagles at their own 9.5-yard line. They lead the Giants 7-0. Bubby Brister showing a little of his enthusiasm, banging guys on the head. On the other side, Dan Reeves and Dave Brown.
And this is where Bubby Brister would sure like to get some running going. You know, both these teams, like we said earlier, wanted to be able to run the ball today. And so far, the quarterbacks of both teams are the leading rushers. Bubby Brister is the leading rusher for the Eagles, and Dave Brown for the Giants. And Bubby Brister wants that to change on this drive if they're going to get that ball out of here.
He has Herschel Walker and Charlie Garner behind him. Garner started off with a flourish and then sort of disappeared, and here's Brister to throw it to Walker. He's taken down by Marcus Buckley after a pickup of 5 or 6 maybe. The Eagles' first 4 possessions, they punted 3 times. They got the touchdown as a result of the interception by Zordich. Second and 5. They got 5 on the pass completion to Walker. Giants fake the blitz. That's Garner. Outside the 15 for a couple. Stopped by Eric Howard and Stacy Dillard.
Well, that's the one thing that this Giant defense does well is the defensive line. Really, they take on all the blockers, and then they try and free up the linebackers, and that's their job. These guys here take on the line and don't let the blockers get to these guys right here, and then they'll come in and make the tackle. You know, don't allow anything. Always have a free linebacker, and they play that perfectly.
3rd and 3. Bristol throw it. First down to Garner. He doesn't catch.
Looked like it knocked him down.
He passes.
Like he threw it so hard to knock Charlie Garner down.
Aflac trivia question of this week. Where on the Liberty Bell is the crack actually located? Where on the Liberty Bell is the crack actually located? On the bell, I guess. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah, but where on the bell? Is it at the bottom of the bell, the middle of the bell, or the top of the bell? I think there's a question.
Okay. The middle of the bell.
Yeah, okay.
Brister trying to set up a screen, does to Walker. Walker hit down by Carlton Bailey. The Aflac trivia question again. Where on the Liberty Bell is the crack actually located?
And you picked the middle?
Yep.
I mean the bottom?
No, I picked the middle.
Yeah, I picked the bottom.
That's not the crack now.
No, that's not the crack either. That's not the crack either. That's not the crack. Oh, right here. Here's where it starts, right there. See that little line there? That's the crack that they talk about.
I've learned again, just traveling with you. You can learn a lot by traveling.
Well, what happened? Yeah, I mean, you can learn a lot about bells and stuff, too. But everyone thinks it's that bottom and stuff. That's just to take pressure off the top where the crack really was.
Brister fell down on the handoff to Walker, but got the ball to him nevertheless for a couple of yard gain. Carlton Bailey again on the stop.
Yeah, when we were talking to Bubby Brister yesterday, he says that when he played a year ago, you know, he didn't have Fred Barnett, and he said so he just kind of made a living throwing to that guy Calvin Williams, number 89, and throwing to Bavaro and to Herschel Walker. Yep. And thus far, I mean, he's thrown one to Fred Barnett, one pretty good one, but thus far that's what he's really doing is getting the ball to those guys, or 2 of those guys anyway.
Out of the spread formation, Brister. Pass is caught. by Fred Barnett, and that gets the Eagles a first down. Corey Raymond on a stop, but Brister had a scramble, but got it there.
There's a fiery guy. There's a guy who plays quarterback like he's a nose tackle. Look, he wants more now. That, you know, sometimes you just need something like that to get yourself going and to get everyone else going.
I think he stays in the hurry-up offense.
Yeah, I think that his motor goes 110 all the time. That's the thing. Rich Kotite says that. All the players say that. It's not getting Bubby Brister fired up. The job is to get Bubby Brister calmed down.
First down. Eagles at their own 35, and Brister fakes. And he's going deep. No flag. Yes, here comes a flag. And here comes another flag.
And there's Mike Zordich down there, number 36. He was calling for it. Mike Zordich ran about 50 yards to call for that pass interference against the Giants. If I were in football today, I'd just throw 15 of those a game. You'd get 10 penalties.
Throw it high and deep and hope for a completion or a penalty. Best play there is.
I think the way they do it, they're encouraging this.
Called against John Booty.
Here it is. It just goes. You're going to see the outside receiver. Here's number 41, John Booty, who they call it on. And Barnett gets behind Booty. And Booty turns, and he's looking back at the ball, and he doesn't look at the ball. He's looking at the ball all the way. And then he puts his arm up there. Now, I don't know that should be against Booty, because he was looking back for the ball. He put his arm up there, and Fred Barnett grabbed his arm.
Reverse to Calvin Williams. To about the 18, where he's taken down and knocked out of bounds by Thomas Randolph.
Yeah, I think the Giants got a bad call on that one. Because, you know, he was looking for the ball. He just put his arm up there, and his arm was grabbed.
Yeah, let's look again.
Watch it again. Here's Booty, number 41. See, he's looking at the ball, which is okay. He puts his arm up there, and then Barnett hits him in the head, and then it grabs his face mask. So I would think if there's something there, it should go against Fred Barnett.
The 41-yard gain for the Eagles as a result of that. Flags again as the Giants jump. Hand off to Garner. Shoving, pushing going on, and another flag comes flying in.
And when you see an official throw a hat, that means he's run out of flags and stuff.
I believe that's Charlie Garner who's still down. Official without a hat. No, it's not Garner, is it? It is Garner, beg your pardon. He's been hurt off and on since training camp. He hurt his ribs to begin with, and that wouldn't get well. He finally came back against the Falcons and ran the wrong way on the first play of the game and fumbled on the second and then disappeared again.
Well, you know, he has that rib. They call it a rib injury, but it's like the first rib, and it's right up there where that trainer has his hand right now. It's right up there behind his shoulder. And sometimes you just get this by just getting hit. And you're going to watch him here. I mean, he just puts his head down and hits, and maybe just that contact there does it.
Defense, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 89, offense. By rule, the major penalty will be enforced. We will go back 15 yards, second down.
You're going to see there's the offsides by number 75, Keith Hamilton. Then 89 is Calvin Williams. He's right there. You're going to, Sparks punched him first, and it's always the guy who punches second. Sparks punches Williams, or Williams punches back at Sparks, so they throw the penalty on Calvin Williams. And then, of course, you know, we still have the injury to Charlie Garner.
And the 15-yard penalty will be marked off. That's Garner.
And it looked like it was his knee. When we looked at the replay, it wasn't that upper rib or shoulder area. It was the knee.
And the way they're carrying him and putting him in that cart, it does look like the knee.
We have the injury on one play to Garner.
Left knee.
We have the 15-yard penalty against Calvin Williams. You'll see it. It was his left leg. You'll see the knee right there. That's where he got it right there. Whew. I think he got it twice. I think he got it when it was first planted and then got it again.
Well, that tells you the story. Charles Garner.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Heineken, the #1 selling imported beer. Heineken, just being the best is enough.
Back at Veterans Stadium, Pat Summerall with John Madden. 2nd and 19, the Eagles back at their own 32 after the penalty was marked off against them. Herschel Walker is the lone back. Brister deflected, intended for Walker.
Yeah, you know, we're seeing more and more of that. I mean, we're seeing more and more of those penalties downfield on those deep passes. We're also seeing more and more of the balls that knock down at the line of scrimmage, where rushmen just start and just take up lanes and take away throwing lanes.
And that's up to the quarterback to find those lanes.
The quarterback has to find a lane because the rushers are just going to get their hands up, so you got to throw in the lanes between rushers. You're not going to be able to throw through or over rushers.
3rd and 19. Brister. Bavaro to about the 13 and very near a first down for the Eagles.
Bavaro's an amazing player. You know, it's amazing that he's even playing this game now, but we remember him all those years with the Giants where he was always open, and as we said earlier, Bubby Brister was so happy that Bavaro was playing because he's a guy that against his zone has a good feel for where the other guys are. And he's always going to take you off the hook. He'll always find a lane and an area for you to throw in.
Didn't get the first down, so Eddie Murray will try from 32 yards out and hit from that distance. And the Eagles will lead it 10-0. Ex-Philadelphia Eagle coach Dick Vermeil, who will be honored at the half.
Yeah, that's his wife right there in the red, his wife Carol. Both Dick and Carol came on the bus before the game, and it was good to see him. Dick Vermeil was an outstanding coach here for the Philadelphia Eagles, and before that at UCLA, and now he's with ABC, and everywhere he's ever been, the guy just gives everything he has and is enthusiastic and emotional about it. And,
well, he still is.
Yeah.
Some of the ex-players around him. There's Tom Brookshire, who I used to work with for so long, but he didn't play for Dick Vermeil, but they're very good buddies now.
But you talk about great Eagles and great players and tough guys and guys that have been honored here before. That's Tom Brookshire. I remember when he played for the Eagles, I always thought that Tom Brookshire was the toughest defensive back that I had ever seen.
I remember he hit me in the head so hard once it broke the helmet.
His or yours?
Mine. And he asked me what I was doing playing. The ultimate insult. Wilkins kickoff is handled at the 15 by Megan. The 35. Ball came loose. The Giants got it back.
You know, one thing that Rich Kotite said yesterday, he said, you know, you lose 5 in a row, and he said one of the first things to go that you always watch out for is special teams. He said, but our special teams have been excellent. He said, our guys are running downfield, they're hitting, they're making things happen. He said, we have never lost that. And he said, if you don't lose that, you always have a chance. And I agree with that.
Rich Kotite's had a tough time, been under attack. A lot of verbal abuse, but he's hung tough. Dave Brown comes out of the pocket. Brown to the 40. He was pressured early. And there's an injured Eagle down on the play.
Yeah, and this whole story for the Giants is not being able to get a running game going, and because Dave Brown is maturing as a quarterback, but he's not mature enough to take it all on his shoulders.
That's William Fuller who's down. He put the early pressure on Dave Brown.
Fuller has a lot of sacks this year. In fact, he was voted to the Pro Bowl this week.
One of the two Eagles, the other Eric Allen.
Of course, this is Fuller's second year. Eric Allen's fifth year is elected to the Pro Bowl.
Just look at that picture. And the two guys, no names. I think you'd know who was the lineman, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and you'd also know who the defensive back is.
Yeah.
If you watch the replay here, you're going to see William Fuller. He's number 95. He goes for the ball there. He doesn't get it, and then he just collides. That's just helmet to helmet.
Hit Andy Harmon.
With Andy Harmon, his own man. So you go there. He's not going for the sack. He's going for the ball to knock the ball out of Dave Brown's hand, and then number 91, his own guy, Andy Harmon, just runs into him helmet to helmet. Look at that. Wow.
In addition to hurting, that is so loud when that happens. Can't believe the noise.
Yeah, William Fuller's still trying to figure out which way his neck is supposed to turn. See, if you get it way over to the left, you may get it back on straight.
10-0. The Eagles lead 2nd and 1.
But I mean, that is some lick. I mean, when a guy like Andy Harmon hits you and knocks you crooked, and they're still checking,
still trying to get
shoulder
straight.
And head, and you don't mind it. You know, if you got it on a good hit on the other guy, but when you got it on a good hit on your own guy, it's not a pitch.
Needed a yard, and Rodney Hampton got it. First down, Giants. 5:12. I beg your pardon. 4:25 left to play. 5:12 is the time of day.
There's John Booty.
Dan Reeves has done a remarkable job keeping his Giant team together after that 7-game losing streak. 1st and 10. Fuller's back. Here's the motion. Brown gets it out to Howard Cross. Lowered his head, and they'll move the sticks. He got a first down.
Yeah, here's Howard Cross here. He's just going to come up and run a short out. Kind of everyone goes to the right. Howard Cross is back here on this back side, and he knows that he's on a linebacker there, that William Thomas has to be the first guy there. And if a play fake, if you can hold Thomas, then Cross has a chance to get a first down for you.
And he did. 1st and 10 at the Eagle 45. Hampton. Maybe a yard. Hit by Fuller.
Yeah, Fuller just had a stinger on that play before, but he looked like he could have gotten another stinger on that play. This is what it's like when you don't get guys blocked up in front. The offensive line is not controlling the line of scrimmage. And they're allowing too much penetration, and the Giant offensive line has done that all day.
Fuller had to come out. Bert Grossman took his place. 2nd and 10. Brown back to throw. Callaway.
Yeah, when Fuller hit Andy Harmon, he got what they call a stinger. And they put him back in, and then he made another hit, and he looks like he still has that stinger.
It's
That's where
still burning.
Yeah, like one side of your shoulder and arm goes numb all the way down the side.
3rd and 5. Excuse me, John. Gary Downs in the backfield for the Giants now with Dave Meggett. Dave Brown back to throw it. Gets it to Meggett. And Meggett gets all the way to the Eagle 14 before he's wrestled down by Greg Jackson, the ex-Giant. 2 minutes to go in the first half at Veterans Stadium, and the Eagles lead the Giants 10-0. But the Giants on the move.
Always going to win this battle. Here he is against Bill Romanowski. You always look for that to get a guy like Dave Meggett on any linebacker. Bill Romanowski, a pretty good cover guy, but if you can get him that, Dave Meggett is going to win those battles. And then they didn't tackle him. Romanowski missed him. Then William Thomas came across and missed him. But a lot of guys over the years have missed Dave Meggett.
You give him that option coming out of the backfield, he can go either way.
Yeah, and especially if he's on a linebacker like he was on Romanowski with no help, and he can go either way, but he'll eat him up all day.
Yeah. You can't allow that to continue to happen.
Giants hope so.
First and 10. Here's Dave Brown back to throw it. Incomplete. Almost intercepted. Rodney Hampton had to go right through his hands, and Greg Jackson tried to get the ricochet.
The pass protection is pretty good. The Giant offensive line is having most of their trouble with their run blocking. They get him a lane, and he just goes right through his hands. And that wasn't Dave Brown's fault. That wasn't the pass protection's fault.
2nd and 10. A minute 51 left to play in the first half. Rashid goes in motion, and Brown back to throw it, stumbles, and down he goes.
That could have been a fumble. I'll tell you, Rodney Hampton made a pretty good block there. Britt Hager was coming on a blitz. And Dave Brown was kind of fumbling the ball, and if Hampton didn't pick up Hager just to keep him enough so Brown would be able to get the ball. But watch, here's Rodney Hampton here. Britt Hager is going to come straight up the middle. See Britt Hager right there. If Hampton didn't keep him off of Brown for that time, that would have been the Eagles' ball.
Brown tripped over Hampton's foot as he came back.
Maybe that's why Hampton blocked Britt Hager.
Maybe so.
Save himself from total embarrassment.
Marshall was the man in motion. Fumble. And the Eagles, Eric Allen gets it on the fly. Eric Allen, and he's got a wall of blockers if they can catch him. A lot of circles, a lot of dancing, and the Eagles have the ball.
Yeah, it seems like we've been doing these games for years, Pat, these giant Eagle games, and there's always weird things happening. You think all the way back to the Pisarcik play. You think of the Simmons play. I mean, you think of just balls bouncing around and guys running wild. It always seems to happen when the Giants and the Eagles play. Here, Meggett has a nice hole and a nice run. He just fumbles the ball there when he's hit by 3 guys. Eric Allen picks it up, and then he almost had the wall right there to go all the way. I don't know why he cut back. If he would have stayed outside, it would have been interesting.
That's what I saw. He cut back. I wonder how far he ran after he initially got the ball.
We've measured those things before. I don't know that we can do it now, but I would say he ran 130 yards. You know, just by looking at it just here. See, here's Meggett here. He's making a move. See, he didn't really have the ball away. And when he got hit, the ball just flopped out. Now, see, there's 50 he runs. Now he goes back and feels 50 yards wide. So when he gets back over to this side, that's about another 40, so that's 90. And then he cuts back there. That's another 10. That's 100.
And then there's another circle.
Yep, there's 105. About 109.
You just have a feel for those things. 109 yards.
109 yards Eric Allen ran.
30-yard return. There's another return. What is that?
You know, when guys get hit and you get interceptions and you got guys walking off, it's just stuff flies out of guys.
What was that, a tire?
No, it was just stuff that fell out. I mean, when you have all the contact that you get on a play like that, pieces just fall off of everything.
Well,
that one was a good hit, though. I mean, look at that. That one's still going. Whoever hit that one.
That looks like something that hit the earth in New Mexico or something. Dug a hole. William Roberts.
Hey, those Eagles play, they always have. I mean, they've lost 5 in a row, and I think that Rich Kotite is right. That, you know, that sometimes you lose a whole bunch of games in a row, and a team can get down and let up and not try, but this team plays hard. They'll hit you.
Minute and 3 seconds left to play in the first half. Pass intended for Walker, incomplete. Thomas Randolph, the defender, William Roberts over on the sideline. He's been bothered by a bad back.
Yeah, he hurt his back 2 weeks ago lifting weights. Only played a little last week. I think he played 1 series is all, and it didn't work out. And I think that's the problem with that left side of that Giant line is William Roberts with a bad back and lining up right next to Jumbo Elliott, who also has a bad back, and had a little trouble over there with Mike Flores and Bert Grossman in his first half.
Brister to Walker. Flag on the play. Walker out of bounds.
One thing, the Giants have been kept off balance. I mean, they got things going, and then when they got them going 2 times, they've had those turnovers. Like any coach will tell you, that's the killer.
Word on William Roberts as the umpire, the referee have a meeting. He has a bruised hip, holding against the Eagles. Gordon McCarter.
Holding, number 89 off. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat, second down.
That's Calvin Williams. You know, he's the one that had that 15-yard penalty earlier for the fight with Flippy Sparks, and then he just got one for holding here. Usually wide receivers don't do those kind of things. Those are usually offensive linemen that hold and fight.
2nd and 14. 51 seconds left to play in the first half. The Eagles up 10-0. Brister out in the direction of James Joseph. Clock stops with 46 seconds left.
I think he was trying the same type of play. You know, that slip screen where you fake and then you throw the screen quickly out to the side. He tried it to the left and he had some success with it, but he also had a penalty with it. So they came back and ran the same type of play to the right. Rich Kotite calls all the plays. He gives them to Zeke Bratkowski, who then calls them in to Bubby Brister.
3rd and 14. The Giants have 1 timeout left. The Eagles have all of theirs. Here comes the blitz. Brister just throws it deep to Victor Bailey. Incomplete. And the Eagles will have to punt. Coming up on the Dockers halftime, James and Terry will have all the scores and highlights from around the league on this 16th week of the '94 NFL season. That's all coming up on the Dockers halftime. Both these teams, the Eagles and the Giants, need to win this one. High kick. There's that signal for by Megan. Flags come flying again as Meggett was run into just as he signaled for the fair catch by Otis Smith.
Yeah, Dave Meggett is telling Otis Smith right there that he signaled for the fair catch. He was showing this is how I signal. Again, you have to get the hand up in the air, though, and give a waving signal back and forth. But even if he didn't give it, the guy coming down has to give him the right to catch the ball. He can't interfere with his right to catch the ball.
Don't need a committee meeting for that.
I think what they're talking about is whether he did give a good fair catch signal.
15 yards from the spot of the foul.
Well,
let's see. We'll see it here. You see Dave Meggett, he gets 2 watches. He watches the ball, then he looks at the rush, then he comes down and looks at the ball again. But he did give a valid fair catch signal. Hey, Bubby Brister was excited about something over there on the sideline. I don't think he liked that call. He thought that was an invalid fair catch signal.
Brown drops on first down. Back across the field to Gary Downs. I beg your pardon, Aaron Pierce. Pierce out of bounds at about the 47-yard line of the Eagles.
That's the old thing where you get everything going to one side and one receiver over on the other side. Dave Brown rolled out to the right. All the receivers went to the right, flooded that side, and Aaron Pierce was the only guy back here in the left side.
23 seconds left. Giants down to one timeout. First and 10 there at the Eagle 47. Dave Brown back to throw. Wheels it outside. Caught by Sherrard. He gets out of bounds. And stops the clock again.
And now they're in Brad Dalloiso's field goal range. See Brown go back. He has good pass protection. He looked everything off right. He looked to the right first, then came back here to the left and threw it to Mike Sherrard right on the sideline.
Good throw.
That was a perfect throw. But again, Eric Allen has been playing a little loose on that side.
And one timeout left. But as you pointed out, they're already in Dalloiso's field goal range. Here's Brown. Outside to make it. He gets out of bounds and stops the clock with 13 seconds left. And they save that timeout.
Yeah, but I mean, the advantage of saving the timeout is you don't have to get out of bounds. If you don't have any timeouts, then your receivers have to get out of bounds. So you have to throw all your passes to the outside. Now with a timeout, you can throw them to the outside, but you can also throw your passes to the inside. You can throw an in or a post.
And give your field goal kicker time.
In fact, the other thing is somewhere here, I would take a shot at the end zone.
Might be this one, because they're already in his range. Brown fumble on the exchange from center. And I don't know who came up with the ball.
But Brown took a timeout as he was going down. The Giants in this first half have just self-destructed.
Yep.
Every time, one time they had a shot, and they didn't go for it on fourth down. Then they've had the 2 turnovers, and here they get a shot, and they fall down.
10 seconds left as Brown calls the last timeout.
Out before the ball is snapped, he started to bring his hands out, but at least when he got the ball and he was going down, he knew one thing: I fouled that up, but I better get a timeout so we can get a field goal try here.
He made sure he had the ball first. Now Dalloiso, 47 yards away. Plenty of distance, and it's good. The Giants get on the scoreboard. 4 seconds still left to play in the first half. .3 Philadelphia leading. 4 seconds left to play in the first half at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Brad Dalloiso, who just kicked a field goal, will kick off. Probably bounce it. Walker and Seidner back deep for the Eagles. Maurice Johnson catches, gives himself up, and that'll end the half. The end of the first half with the score: the Eagles 10, the Giants 3. Stay tuned for the Dockers halftime as Fox NFL Sunday will continue after this message and a word from your local Fox station.
This is the Dockers halftime. 100% cotton, wrinkle-free Dockers.
How scary. And welcome back to Hollywood along with Terry Bradshaw. I'm James Brown for the Dockers halftime. At the half, an ugly game. Philadelphia leading at 10-3. Philadelphia's defense pressuring young Dave Brown unmercifully.
Yeah, but in this football game, the one thing that Coach Rick Kotite of the Eagles wanted to happen, JB, he was looking for a spark. And in the first half, he got that spark from Bubby Brister, 11-14, 70, 97 yards, a touchdown. Mark Bavaro, tight end, who's been out the last 3 games into this game, has caught a touchdown pass from Bubby. he has really helped. And they've kept the ball short. They're not throwing deep as if Randall was in there. They're throwing the ball relatively short.
All right, Giants only 1 rushing first down in the first half. Let's take a look at the highlights in the first half.
Well, there's Randall. He's telling Bubby, your turn. Go get him, big guy. He says, all right, I'll stand in there and I'll throw to the good one. There he is, Mark Bavaro. Is he down? No way. 27-yard touchdown reception. Great effort by Mark Bavaro. Giants offense, they can't get anything done. Dave Brown, intentional grounding call here by the referee. There it is. Throw it down. Looks to me like he was kind of talked into it.
Talked into it. All right, well, I like that. The winner of this one stays in the playoff hunt. The loser is out right now. Philadelphia is 7 better than the Giants at halftime. Green Bay today, it was a closing seconds victory. Brett Favre did the job. 21-17, the Packers win it. Stay alive in the NFC Central hunt. Last game there at Milwaukee.
That's right. Jeff George, he's out also with a broken left finger. But Brett Favre says one thing I do better is read the blitz. There's a blitz. There's Anthony Morgan, 15-yard TD reception. 1 of 2 on the day by Brett Favre. Favre back again. This is third one. He talked his coach into going for the touchdown. He thought he would throw it. He didn't. He ran it. There you have it. 21-17, Green Bay over Atlanta in a very, very good football game. Brett Favre today, outstanding 30 touchdown passes on the year, only 12 interceptions, and he did not make the Pro Bowl. I'm going to keep on saying that.
And I know you're upset about that. Tough-nosed quarterback, he did the job, though. Atlanta is eliminated by virtue of that 4-point loss to the Packers. In Chicago, the Bears keep their title hopes alive in the NFC Central. 14-point victory over the Rams. Hey, 32 degrees in Chicago. How's he keeping cool?
I got some of that Bradshaw formula. Talked to Steve's wife, to his mama. He said, let Steve throw the football. So he does. There's Keith James. There's a touchdown pass. Chicago up 10-0. Raymond Harris, get in there. 92 yards rushing on a day. Excellent day by himself. Then Lewis Tillman, he puts it in there. 27-13. The Bears looking awfully good in Chicago. And, you know, Wannstedt did win a Terry Award as Coach of the Year.
And you know what? You're a very good character actor. I love that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Chicago victorious 27-13. Chicago held Jerome Bettis 8 carries, 7 yards in that victory. In Washington, Tampa Bay wins 4 straight for the first time in 15 years. Washington winless at home for the first time in team history. In Buffalo, Buffalo is now on life support. If, in fact, Kansas City or the Raiders win, Buffalo is out. Jim Kelly had to greet Frank Reich, who was at the helm.
Saying, good luck, Frank. Frank's in there. Stepping back, he drops the ball out to Gardner. Carwell Gardner. He's stripped of the ball. Ricky Reynolds, he picks it up. He rambles 24 yards. This puts Buffalo up 24-17. This man, Drew Bledsoe, 3 touchdown passes on the day. Today, 38 unanswered points by New England as they romp 41-17, and Parcells has these guys playing.
And Parcells said this was the best game that the Patriots played all year long. They were trailing 17-3, won it 41-17. At the Meadowlands, San Diego finally clinches the AFC West with a 15-point victory over the Jets.
Esiason out of the pocket, hit by Junior Seau, hits him with the top of the helmet. His head should have been up. They didn't throw a flag on Seau. Should have been. Now my man Humphries, he comes out. He finds Mark Say on a 2-yard touchdown pass. San Diego up by 1.7-6. Back come Humphries, 44 yards. Tony Martin, who will catch 2 bombs from Humphries on the day. Final 21-6. San Diego finally gets their offense untracked. Humphries, you know, he's from Shreveport, Louisiana,
and
Southwood High School.
Love to say that.
Throwing it up there big time.
Oh, yes, he did. 19 of 26, 280 yards, 3 touchdowns in that victory over the Jets. Pittsburgh and Cleveland, the Steelers are winning that one right now at the half by a touchdown, a Pittsburgh win, and they clinch home field advantage throughout the playoffs. In Indianapolis, it is the Colts holding to a 4-point lead, that one in the 3rd quarter there. And in Arizona, the Cardinals' playoff hopes are still alive. Arizona is blanking Cincinnati 21-0. And in Kansas City still in the hunt right now, holding to a 14-3 lead, that over the Houston Oilers. And we'll be back with more halftime after this.
Veterans Stadium with the Eagles leading the Giants 10-3. That's Dick Vermeil, who's being honored in ceremonies at the halftime today into the Eagles Circle of Honor. We'll return to veterans. 10-3 the Eagles. This first half highlight is brought to you by MCI, Proof Positive. And as you pointed out, John, so many times, Mark Bavaro has that knack of finding an opening in a zone.
Well, you know, and he's been out for a few weeks, and Bubby Brister's starting today. Sees Mark Bavaro, sees him wide open. Said yesterday, so when we get down inside the 20, the first guy that I'm going to look to is Mark Bavaro.
And in that case, it was a very wise choice. Both teams have returned back to the field. It's been pretty much the kind of game that we expected, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you don't have big, high-powered offenses
Right.
here, and you know, any team that makes a mistake, they're the ones that are going to be hurt. And of course, the Giants in the first half, they've had those 2 turnovers. They got the first one, and then the Eagles just took it in and scored their touchdown, and that's been about it.
And so far, the Eagles have not turned it over. Bubby Brister's done what he expected to do through the short pass underneath, hit Mark Bavaro for that touchdown.
And I think the other thing, though, that Bubby Brister hasn't been able to do, or the Eagles haven't been able to do, is run the ball. And the Giants really haven't been able to get any running game going either. And I think that both these teams, they don't have a good enough passing game. They're not a top passing game and top quarterback that they can play that kind of game. To keep something together and to keep first downs and so on, I think they both need a running game.
Well, he showed you Dick Vermeil being honored at the half, being inducted into the Circle of Honor. That's Ron Jaworski, who quarterbacked those Eagle teams when Dick was the coach. And that's what they presented him, along with his name up in the stadium at the halftime. Daluiso set to kick it off for the Giants. Herschel Walker, Jeff Seidner, back deep. Seidner at the 8. To the 32. Taken down by Tito Wooten. And let's look, John, at the halftime statistics.
And I think the big thing is, you know, is the Giants have only rushed for 50 yards. But look at the Eagles. They want to run the ball, too. They've only ran the ball for 8 yards. But here's the big thing. The Giants had the 2 turnovers. When they got the 1 turnover, that turned into 7 points for the Eagles. Then each team got a field goal. So if it hadn't been for that first turnover, the score would be 3-3. And that's been the kind of game it's been, kind of half it's been.
Von Hebron in the backfield with Walker. Brister's going to throw a screen. Beckett's going right. Throws it left to Hebron. First down. On the double screen.
That's the type of stuff that Bubby Brister likes to throw, or the screen passes and the short passes. If you look here, beyond 15 yards, he only completed 1 pass. That was a touchdown to Bavaro. But 3 for 3 under 15 to the left, 2 for 3 in the middle, 6 for 7 to the right. So that's where he works, that less than 15 yards, right, middle, and left.
Of course, when you do that, you move the sticks a lot, and you occupy the clock a lot. Look out. Brister just got rid of it. He was hit from behind by Corey Miller, and Brister never saw him. Miller.
I don't think he heard you say watch out either.
Yeah.
Corey Miller wants to do more of this. He was talking that he wants to be a rusher, and he's going to come from the outside. He's right here. He's going to come here. Brister is going away from him. So Brister, as he starts to go there, he starts to run away. No, he doesn't see, nor does he feel Corey Miller coming.
Makes it 2nd and 10. They're lucky that wasn't a loss. Up both yardage and a quarterback.
And the ball.
Brister, screen pass to the left to Hebron. Case, and brought down by Jesse Armstead. There's a guy who's really played well. Every time we meet with Dan Reeves, he always raves about Jesse Armstead and how well he plays.
Well, he's one of those guys that's really not big enough to be a linebacker every down. You can see he's 6'1" and weighs 228 pounds, and he can't take that pounding, you know, with a run, but he's really good against the pass. So he's kind of a nickel-type linebacker. Anytime they think the other team's going to pass, like now 3rd and long, they're going to bring him in.
Very quick. Walker split out, and they have 3 wide receivers as well. James Joseph stays in the block. Now he circles out of the backfield. Pass is caught by Fred Barnett. He's hit immediately, but hung on. And that's enough for a first. Tito Wooten applied the hit.
That's one thing that wide receivers, all receivers really like, is to show that they can go in and catch the ball, get hit, and keep the ball. But it all starts here. Good protection. Look at this line. They're giving Brister time not only to look and find Fred Barnett, but to get in the alley and to step up and throw the ball. And boy, did Tito Wooten unload on Fred Barnett.
And Barnett hung on. First down, Philadelphia at the Giant 45. Brister. Pass is deflected by Mike Fox.
That's the thing. He didn't find the lane that time. We were just talking about how on the completion of Fred Barnett, how he found the lane and he could step up, and this time he didn't find the lane. And these guys right here take the lane away from him. And you see they're going to get the push. You see Hamilton there. He doesn't get up the field. He just puts his left hand there. If you don't get a good pass rush, that was good pass protection. He started up and just put his left hand up.
2nd and 10. Hand off to Walker. Herschel Walker pounds down inside the 25. The best running play of the day for Philadelphia.
That's what you want to do. You know, if you can keep Herschel Walker square, you have a chance. But if he gets into and past the line of scrimmage, you don't. Watch Panos. He's going to lead there. He gets just a little push here. Now Walker is really tough. When he gets through that line and gets into your secondary and gets squared up, he's one of the better backs in this league. And
still plenty fast. The Eagles trying to keep their playoff hopes alive with a victory in this game, and next week they're in the playoffs. Here's Brister going deep. Nope. Bavaro, the intended receiver.
Mark Bavaro jumped up and he was asking for one there. And again, you see it so often, you know, when the ball is thrown in the air deep, you know, the pass interference call, I don't think that is one there. I think that's just good coverage. That's Corey Miller running all the way with him, looking at the ball, getting his left arm in there and knocking the ball up, and then his right hand and knocking the ball down. That was a good play by Corey Miller.
Excellent. 2nd and 10. Walker the lone back. Barnett goes in motion. Walker again. Walker to about the 25. Picked up a couple. Stopped by Thomas Randolph and Carlin Bailey.
And that's what you have to do to Herschel Walker. You have to keep him going perpendicular to the line of scrimmage. And if you can do that, string him out, and where his shoulders are going towards the sideline, then he's not really effective. And that's what the Giants did that time. They just strung him out, and he kept going. Instead of square to the line of scrimmage, he was going perpendicular to the line of scrimmage, and perpendicular to the line of scrimmage will always lose.
3rd and 9 for the Eagles at the Giant 25. Within range for Murray. Blitz coming. Brister gets rid of it. For Maurice Johnson, a flag on the play. The information on...
Ball start before the snap. Double pump by the center. 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Double pump, the old double pump.
Well, you know, that's the old flinch. Sometimes centers will do that when they see the blitz coming. Dave Alexander's the center there. You see he did. He just kind of started the ball once, and it wasn't time to snap it yet. Then he held it, and then he did the old double clutch.
3rd and 14. The word on Charlie Garner, by the way, who left in the first half, is that he has a ruptured kneecap. His left leg. Calvin Williams, the move man, and here's Brister back to throw it. Caught by Calvin Williams. Not enough for a first down, but they get Eddie Murray closer. Buckley and Armstead made the stop.
Armstead was trying to get the ball out of Calvin Williams' hand. He just kept fighting the fight, and the play was over. As you said, Williams was the guy that went in motion. And again, it was one of those 3rd down passes that maybe got better field goal position, but didn't get the first down.
42 yards away for Eddie Murray. Barker is holding the punter. Murray is going to get it there. And it's good by the veteran Eddie Murray. And the Eagles lead 13-3.
brought to you by Lexus, maker of the 1995 ES300. Let others follow. By Taco Bell, tacos, burritos, and nachos, cross the border. And by Madden NFL 95 from EA Sports. It's in the game.
Jeff Wilkins set to kick off for Philadelphia. The Eagles up by 10 with 10:05 left in the third quarter. Short kick. Going to be handled by Megan. About the 13 or 14. Flag on the play as Megan brought it out just shy of the 30. But a penalty marker comes flying down. Bubby Brister, we've been talking about what a fiery guy he is, and he really got into it.
And this is why he's playing. If you wonder why Bubby Brister is playing and why Rich Kotite made the change and he said he needed a fiery guy in there and what he was looking for, I think you see it right here. Not only on the field, but you see it on the bench. There is a fired-up quarterback.
Holding number 34 receiving team during the return. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
Called against the Giants, Gary Downs. So they'll move him back to about the 18-yard line.
You know, and they know that. The Eagles know that here, that if they win today and then win next week, they are in the playoffs. It doesn't make any difference what anyone else does. So these are 2 playoff games for the Eagles.
They lead by 10. This is Rodney Hampton. To about the 24. Right now, let's send you back to Hollywood to James Brown for a McDonald's update.
All right, Pat, John mentioned playoffs. Well, New England is looking awfully good, having trailed 17-3, scored 38 unanswered points. That one to Vincent Brisby for 6 of those points. They win it big. Kansas City, if they hold on, Buffalo is out of the playoffs. Back to Pat and John.
2nd and 4. Hampton hit by Mike Flores.
And the fridge is down there,
Yeah.
too. I mean, when the fridge gets down there like that, you're not going to go in. Here's Flores, here's the fridge, and they're trying to run in this area. Now, that's a tough thing. Flores takes on the double team, plays it well, comes off, and he's the first guy there, and then the fridge just flops on it. That has to knock some air out of you. When you get the old fridge flop, and you're the running back, I'll tell you, about 3/4 of the air you had in you will go out. Rodney Hampton's running in about 1/4 air right now in this play.
3rd and inches. Fumble on the exchange. The ball comes loose. And let's see what happens.
I don't know.
Dave Brown might have pulled out a little early.
Well, he did earlier. Remember that
Yeah.
last time? In fact, we saw him talking to Brian Williams and admitting that he pulled out early. I haven't seen the officials. They haven't said, they haven't pointed in either direction. In fact, they just did. This is the Eagles' ball.
Oh, he tried a quarterback sneak.
That was a quarterback sneak. It wasn't a fumble. He
No.
just didn't make the first
Just
down.
didn't make it.
No, there was no fumble on that play. It was 4th down. They were going for it. Or 3rd down. They were going for short yardage and didn't make it.
He just bounced out of there. Moran's kick. Jeff Seidner. Seidner with a little room gets back to about the 46-yard line. So the Eagles take over in good shape. And Bubby Brister, not warm yet. At least his arm's not.
You better throw some water on him.
You don't see many green Santa Claus, do you?
That Santa Claus has pretty good balance there, too, to stand on that thing.
Oh,
And then dance like that.
and he's way up there, too.
Yeah, he's a happy Santa.
Yeah.
He has a lot of work to do this next week. This is just kind of the lull before a storm, he says.
You got a week to get ripe. Brister, Devon Hebron. Maybe half yard. Felipe Sparks, Michael Strahan come up to make the stop.
I was watching Joe Panos on that last play, and he wasn't sure if he was supposed to pull or not, so he kind of pulled and then kind of stopped and then kind of pulled again and then kind of kind of stopped and just tried to get in someone's way. Watch Joe Panos here. He's right here. And, again, starting for his first time. He starts down there. You see him stop, then start again, then stop again. He had about 3 starts and stops. And I think what he was supposed to do was cut off.
Catched up on the gears. Here's Brister. Gets it to Maurice Johnson. Not much there.
I'll tell you what I do like about him, though, is he's a good, I mean, he's a tough guy. I can tell that. He's a spirited guy, and he's a good pass protector. I mean, you know, he's one of those guys, weighs about 300 pounds, and all his stuff is kind of square.
Built like a guard.
Yeah, he is, and he just stayed in on that last one. I mean, he had excellent pass protection on that last play.
3rd and 8.
You know, when you get into a last name that has 15 letters in it, and you can't spell it in kindergarten, you better be able to pass protect.
Especially when it's your own name.
Yeah, he had a lot of penalties.
Quick pass to Calvin Williams won't get him a first down.
Yeah, Bobby Brister's upset about that, and he should be upset about it. I mean, that's the problem with that quick passing, those short passes. Again, you can't do them on 3rd and 7. You got to get first downs.
4th and about 3, so Brian Barker will punt to Dave Meggett. Meggett signals for a catch at about the 17, and the Giants will take over there with 6:06 left to play in the 3rd quarter. 13-3, the Eagles lead by 10. With 6:06 left to play in the 3rd quarter, Giants have the ball at their own 18. Is that you up there?
I hope not.
I mean, not the other.
Oh, the one on the right. Yeah, the one on the right was me.
Brown back to throw. Chase from behind comes out of there with some room. First down. Out to about the 36 where he slides. First down, Giants. This game summary is brought to you by Budweiser. The loser of this game is out of the playoffs. Two Giant turnovers have led to 7 Eagle points. Brister's 18 out of 27. With mostly short passing. Brown gets the Giants the first down. This is a handoff to Hampton. There's nothing there, and a flag on the play. William Perry. That's the place you don't want to run.
Nope, if he would have stayed, Lance Smith, his right guard, was pulling. Had made a heck of a block out there on Mike Flores. But he didn't stay with that. Hampton cut back into William Perry. I'll tell you, number 61, Lance Smith, made a heck of a block.
Illegal use of the hands, jam to the face. Number 91, defense. 5 yards from the end of the run, automatic first down.
Right, Lance Smith is going to come here and make a trap right here. Now, I think if Rodney Hampton would have run off this block, this is about as good a trap block as you're going to see. When you see him 61, you see him come, boom, right there. Had he stayed out here and ran off that trap block, he would have had a chance. But he got a penalty anyway, so it doesn't make a difference. It's still a first down. But that was a good trap by Lance Smith.
Penalty was against Andy Harmon for illegal use of the hands to the face. Here's Brown back to throw. And wide open is Mike Sherrard. Sherrard hit it for out of bounds at the Eagle 26. First down, Giants. Good throw by Brown. Sherrard was wide open.
Yeah, Sherrard knows that area. He knows those zones, and the defensive backs have really been given. If you look, there's going to be an area in here, and they give, and that's what this zone does when it gets a little soft. And if we see, when you stop it here, when they run off deep here, then this whole area is open, and that's the area that Sherrard hits. You see, the deep guy runs the deep backs off, and Sherrard has that whole middle to work.
Here's the move man. The handoff is to Rodney Hampton. He's down near the 20. Stopped by Greg Jackson.
And again, now the Giants are starting to get some mixture, and they've done this before, but they've gotten in these areas and they've had turnover problems down here.
Been a tough day for Rodney Hampton. 13 carries, 28 yards.
Well, a lot of that is 8-man front. We saw Zordich up earlier in the first half, and then that last tackle was made by Greg Jackson, which was also an 8-man front. He's the safety. He's up there now.
Tip is to Hampton. Hampton to the 10. Just over the 10. It'll be first and goal from just inside the 10. Stopped by Britt Hager.
And what they did, you see, here's the 8-man up here. So what they run to this side that time, and they get away from that safety. You see, they get a good trap there. Hampton runs right off the trap. Another good pickoff by Riesenberg. And that makes 2 big holes for Rodney Hampton on that right side there.
And Howard Cross with a good block also. First and goal at the 10. Hampton again. To about the 7. Britt Hager.
You know,
Vaughn Johnson made the stop.
No, I was just going to say, sometimes a running back like Rodney Hampton, you just have to feed him the ball, you know,
Yep.
so he gets a feel. And I think that the whole 3/4 of this game, Rodney Hampton really hadn't had a feel of running against this Eagle defense. And now they're feeding him the ball, and you can tell that he's starting to run like Rodney Hampton running downhill.
We saw it last year so many times, especially in the playoffs against Minnesota. They just kept giving him the ball. Hampton is the back. Brown is hit from the back. Ball is juggled, and I think the Eagles came up with it. William Fuller dived at the last minute.
The officials are saying it hit the ground, Pat.
Hit the ground.
But they're going to come from that other side.
Thomas.
Yep, Thomas comes from that back side. Number 51, William Thomas. Brown didn't see him. And it was lucky. The ball went off the fridge. Look, the fridge has it there. And then Fuller comes in to get it, but the ball did hit the ground.
Hit the ground.
But William Thomas came from that backside and was not blocked, and they were lucky that they get to keep this ball.
2.5 minutes left to play. Brown calls a timeout. We're in the third quarter. Giants have it 3rd and goal at the 7. Timeout, Giants.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by O'Doul's. It's what beer drinkers drink when they're not drinking beer.
3rd and goal at the 7. The Giants used a timeout. Now Dave Brown calls them back into the huddle again.
I'll tell you, the crowd, this crowd here in Philadelphia knows defense. Listen to them. It's 3rd down here. They're the 12th man for this Eagle defense.
3rd and goal at the 7. Brown retreats. Comes out of the pocket, Dave Brown. Inside the 10 to the 5 and out of bounds. At about the 2.5 or maybe 3. But it brings up 4th down.
And the Giants are going to go for the field goal. Again, this is good coverage here because Brown is trying to throw to his left quickly. See, when he backs out, he's trying to throw to his left. There's nothing open. Maybe he could have come back here to Rodney Hampton, but Hampton was being covered by Romanowski, who covered Hampton, took on the block, and then made the tackle of Brown.
So from 20 yards away, Dan Russo with Kent Graham holding. They're trying to move the Giants closer. 2 minutes left, 3rd quarter. Kick is just barely good. If he hadn't been that close, it wouldn't have been. 13-6 Eagles. Get off. 1:56 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Seidner and Walker back deep for the Eagles. 13-6, Philadelphia leads. Herschel Walker. Taken down at the 20. Jesse Armstead. Randall Cunningham. Week 1 against the Giants, he was the starter at his season high as far as yardage were concerned.
You know, I think that that the Eagles, I think, had to make this change. I mean, there's signs we want Randall and so on, but I don't think that you can blame Randall Cunningham for everything either.
Not
I mean,
for
they lose,
everything, no.
they lose 5 in a row, and they have to do something to try and get this team jump-started. And one of the things you do is sometimes change your quarterback, but I don't think that when you do that, you're putting all the blame on the quarterback either, because that would be wrong.
Brister back to throw it. Incomplete. High throw intended for Maurice Johnson.
I'll tell you, Brister took a shot right there by Mike Strahan just as he threw the ball. No more Cunningham. Go Bubby and get Aaron McNair. Watch Strahan. Watch Bubby Brister throw the ball. 92, Mike Strahan is there, and he just trips him right at the end. He just grabs it. He's going to get anything he can to get the guy down after he throws it.
2nd and 10. Brister was slow getting up, but he hardly even got hit at all. Handoff is to Vaughn Hebron. Outside the 25 to about the 26. Stopped by Michael Brooks and Jarvis Williams.
Yeah, that's been the story of the Eagles this year, and their problems is not having a running game going. I mean, every time you talk about the Eagles, I always say, well, we got to get a running game going, and 1 week it's going to be Charlie Garner, and 1 week it's going to be Herschel Walker, and it's going to be Vaughn Hebron, but they didn't have anyone, and they never did get it going, and that's been a thing that they don't have today. And so that puts a lot of it on either Randall Cunningham's shoulders or today Bubby Brister's shoulders.
Brister out of the shotgun this time. Here comes the Giant blitz. Brister wheels it outside to Hebron, who made the catch, and that's enough for a first down.
Oh, they got a good spot there, too.
They though.
Because that was 3rd down. The Eagles did a good job of picking up the blitz. Watch this. The Giants are bringing 6. Herschel Walker stays in there. They do a good job to give Brister time to throw that ball. And he got it just out there for the first down.
Alexander with a good pickup, and so did Joe Panos.
Joe Panos is playing pretty good for a rookie starting his first game.
Here's Brister back to throw. Dumps it off to Walker. Walker taken down by Felipe Sparks. Brister gets up slowly, but he's okay.
I think Bubby Brister is one of those guys that I think likes to get knocked down and likes to get up. That fires him up.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. The Eagles 13, the Giants 6. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages from your local Fox station. The Eagles over the Giants. Pat Summerall with John Madden at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. 2nd and 7, Eagles. Ball at their own 34-yard line. Herschel Walker, Vaughn Hebron behind Bubby Brister. 2nd down. Hebron behind Panos. Flag on the play from way down the field. Hebron got enough yards for a first down. They'll be holding against the Eagles.
Yeah, and usually when it comes from way downfield like that, it's usually holding on the tight end because the official that's way downfield is the one that's watching the tight end.
Holding, number 86, offense, 10-yard penalty from the dead ball spot. Repeat, 2nd down.
That's Fred Barnett. That's not Fred Barnett. That's a half a used pretzel, I think.
Well, you know, you find more stuff on the field. Here's Fred Barnett here. And again, he's starting to the inside, and he's just blocking, and he holds there. I mean, that's just a hold. That's just a good old hold. Michael Brooks was coming on the play, and Barnett was coming in to crack him. And instead of crack blocking him, he just put his hands out there and grabbed him.
Makes it 2nd and 9. Brister. Pass is complete to Calvin Williams, and he did stay in bounds. About a yard and a half shy of a first down. He was pressured by Coleman Rudolph.
You know, the Eagles played against the Pittsburgh Steelers last week, and of course Brister used to play for the Steelers, so after the game he stayed in Pittsburgh. Randall Cunningham started. He didn't know he was going to start, so his dad called him up. His dad saw it on television.
Yeah.
And says, "You're going to start." And
You better get home.
Really? Said, "You better get home." So Brister said, when my dad told me that, I knew I better get back here to Philadelphia if I'm going to be the starter.
Third down. Let's see if they measure or what the meeting on the sideline is about. Whatever it is, it hasn't made Dan Reeves jubilant. Third and very short. Dan must be saying something about the way they mark or where they mark the ball. Herschel Walker is in front of Vaughn Hebron and pitches back to Hebron. And he'll have the first down this time with room to spare.
Yeah, Dan Reeves was really upset on that thing. I think it was they were going to measure. He's still upset about it because they were going to measure and then they wouldn't give him a measurement, but they didn't stop the clock.
No.
And I think
that must be what he was upset about.
Yeah, because he really wouldn't want the measurement, but he was saying if you're not going to take the measurement, just don't let the clock run and take an official's timeout.
First and 10 Eagles at their own 45. They lead 13-6. Brister back to throw. Here comes the blitz. Pass is incomplete, intended for Fred Barnett. Giants had a safety man coming. Thomas Randolph around the corner.
As you see Randolph, he's stepping right up to the outside. Number 23 there. He stepped up. They didn't count him. Brister didn't see him, and when Randolph hit him, did he unload on him? Whew. That was a corner blitz. Now, mostly, you see linebackers blitz, you see safeties blitz. You don't see a lot of times corners blitz. But boy, did Thomas Randolph bring it.
Bubby Brister never saw the corner blitz. Here's the handoff to Hebron again. Right now, let's send you back for a McDonald's game break to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
All right, Pat, Chicago kept its NFC Central title hopes alive with impressive plays like Steve Walsh to keep Jennings' touchdown strikes. They won it by 14. That sets up next week's meeting with the hot New England Patriots. Let's take it back to Pat and John.
Third down and about 8. 7 call it. Ball at the 47. Eagles have it. Alexander signaling somebody's coming. Brister didn't see him coming. Or maybe he did. Jesse Armstead. He just couldn't get rid of it.
Well, he had all his receivers. He had Herschel Walker out here as a wide receiver. He was trying to get to him. And you're going to see Jesse Armstead come. You got the corner coming from the outside. Armstead started in the middle, and then he just blitzed around his tackle, and no one picked him up.
So Brian Barker back to punt for Philadelphia. Meggett will handle it. Meggett is down at the 30. The ball comes loose, but he was down.
Hey, one thing, I'm impressed with this Philadelphia Eagle special teams, especially these coverage.
Oh, yeah.
They are really going after them.
13-6 Eagles lead.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Cadillac and your Cadillac dealer, creating a higher standard. By McDonald's, the official restaurant of the National Football League. And by Levi, 100% cotton wrinkle-free Dockers. Pants so soft, they shrug off wrinkles.
Back at Veterans Stadium, here's Dave Meggett handling the punt.
Again, you see the ball come out. And the whistle doesn't blow until after the ball comes out. Herschel Walker recovered it. I think that should have been the Eagles' ball. I think Dave Meggett thought so, too.
Yeah, he went after it.
I know. He was going after it, and, you know, the whistle stops everything. So the ball was out of there, and then when we played it back with sound. You could hear the whistle blow after that football was fumbled.
But you could see the official close by pointing to the ground that he was down. But didn't blow the whistle.
No, he probably meant to blow the whistle earlier then, I would guess that, because that was when the whistle's telling you one thing and his hand is telling him another thing.
Rodney Hampton behind Dave Brown, and Hampton throws it back to Brown. They wheel it outside to Mike Sherrard. Sherrard will have a Giant first down at about the 46-yard line.
Well, the Giants are playing for their life right now because they know if they don't win today, there's not going to be any kind of playoff. And we talked to Dan Reeves last night and asked him if he has any tricks. He says, yeah, I always got some flea flickers and reverses, and that was the first flea flicker we just saw.
Well, he said the weather conditions sometimes dictate what you do with those trick plays, but you can ask for better weather this time of year in Philadelphia.
Yeah, bad weather. He said you don't use as many trick plays, but as you say, today's pretty good for trick plays.
Here's Brown, chased, fumble. A forward pass, I beg your pardon, there's a flag way downfield. Brown tried to throw it backhanded to Hampton. That's Dave Brown down.
I wonder if that was going to be a shovel pass that he was trying to throw to Hampton.
Sorry. Not the quarterback down. He'll be holding against the Eagles.
That'll be defensive holding. That'll be an automatic first down.
Holding, number 53 defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Giant player still down. That looks like Jumbo Elliott. It is. He's been bothered by a bad back. Of course, he had back surgery last year, but just aggravated it against the Browns. Back at Veterans Stadium, the Eagles 13, the Giants 6. Giant ball just across midfield. Hampton and Rashid behind Dave Brown. Rodney Hampton, not much.
He was in on a lot of plays today is Bill Romanowski.
Yep.
And when we saw him earlier, he was beaten one time by Dave Meggett on that pass play, but he's really played pretty well. And, you know, anytime they try and run to his side, and the Giants thought that they would be able to run at Romanowski, and when they've tried that, it hasn't worked.
Second down, no gain for Hampton. 2nd and 10. 2nd and 11, call it.
Zordich is up there again. They have an 8-man front.
There's Brown to throw it. Pass complete to Mike Sherrard. Near a first down.
Yeah, one of the strengths of this Philadelphia Eagle defense are those two safeties, though, Mike Zordich and Greg Jackson. I mean, that was Jackson who made that hit. I mean, those guys are you know, they can cover a little, but I'll tell you, against the running game and when you complete a pass, they hit like linebackers.
First down, Giants at the Eagle 38. Rashid and Hampton. Hampton gets the carry. Rodney Hampton is hit as he tries to turn it upfield and gets very little. Britt Hager. And Romanowski again.
Yeah, see, Romanowski is out here. Now, what he has to do, he has to get upfield and make this thing a cut back to the inside. And that's what he does. You see how he's kind of square there? He takes on Riesenberg and makes the thing cut. In fact, he even got a little piece of Rodney Hampton's ankle, but Romanowski closed that hole down, and there wasn't much for Rodney Hampton to run into.
He's done a good job. 2nd and 10, and Brown is swarmed under by William Thomas.
Well, I tell you, this Bud Carson is pulling it out today. He is bringing guys from every angle, lining them up right, lining them up left. Just watch this one. They just don't get two guys blocked. Flores is going to come from one side. Here on the right side is William Thomas, 51. Brown is trying to throw to the left, so now his right side becomes his backside. He had Flores to his onside and William Thomas from his backside.
4th sack by the Eagles. 3rd and 19. Meggett now enters. And here's Brown to throw. Brown motioning, and down he goes. And they're out of field goal range. It's Andy Harmon and William Thomas who trip him up.
I'll tell you, Bud Carson has really kept Dave Brown and this Giant offense out of sync today. He has thrown everything at him. You talk about defenses. He's had guys line up right, guys line up left. He's brought corners. He's brought safeties, linebackers, 8-man up, 9-man up. Bud Carson has thrown everything you can at a defense, at an offense.
And he's always been one of the best.
He's having a good day today.
Horan back to punt it. Off the side of his foot. Seidner gets away from it. The Giants will down it at about the Eagle 13-yard line. So Philadelphia takes over with 8:23 left in the football game. 13-6 they lead. Eagles lead as you hear the chant of Bubby. There is a penalty marker at the very far side of the field, right by the first down marker. Now the conference.
Yeah, when an official has his hat off, that means that someone went out of bounds. He's thrown a flag. He doesn't have the flag in there.
When he threw his hat, whoever went out of bounds can't come back and be the first man to touch the ball. Isn't that correct?
That's a rule. That's one of the rules he could have called, that the guy was out of bounds and then came in and downed the ball.
Yeah.
Taking too much time to explain it, though.
Yeah, they're going to get to know each other very well.
Yeah. What he's given, the signal he's given there is unnecessary roughness. That's with the hat. You see, he's out of bounds there. Now maybe he's saying that he's hit. Oh, Jesse Armstead bought that
Number
one.
36 of the receiving team went out of bounds to hit a member of the kicking team player coming down to cover the kick. That is unnecessary roughness. We'll go half the distance from the spot of the catch. First down.
I don't think that's unnecessary roughness. I think that's just playing.
They call it against number 36, Zordich.
Yeah, Zordich. You see, but the guy going down can go downfield and be out of bounds and keep going downfield, so you can still block him. Jesse Armstead bought that penalty.
Did he ever?
He talked him into it.
Zordich got called for that penalty. Now Richie Kotite asking him what happened.
Watch him here, though. Whoo! That's going off right there.
More is going to happen.
And he's right. I mean, Jesse Armstead was going down, and he's trying to block him, and the guy can keep going, and he gave him a bump there. I mean, that's football. If you start calling that, I mean, that happens every game, every punt play, you get that one.
Armstead didn't quit just because he went out of bounds. He could have come back and made the tackle.
Yeah, but he stopped and talked the official into it.
He sure did. Herschel Walker gets the carry.
The Giants have to make a play. You know, they haven't been able to make a lot of offensive plays today or special teams. They're going to have to make a defensive play. And if they're going to win this game, they need a defensive play, and they need it right now in this area. I mean, they got to get a fumble, get an interception, make something happen, throw them for a loss, block a punt. But their offense is struggling. Their special teams haven't given many big plays, so the defense is going to have to come up with one.
Gotta make a play right here, one of these next two downs. Brister firing upfield. Well, there's the play. Picked off by Thomas Randolph. And there it is.
And that's what they needed. That's what we're talking about. The defense had to make a play. The defense made the play for them. Now the offense has to come in and do their part of it.
This just underthrown.
Yeah, Randolph, you see, it's a bootleg. He's going to bootleg right and then try and throw back. He's throwing back. Randolph is just running. That was a bad throw. I mean, that's one that he thought would be wide open, and it wasn't. Randolph is number 23. Barnett tries to lull him to sleep. He doesn't. The ball's thrown short. Randolph is running with him all the way.
Giant first down at the Eagle 44. Now the offense has to make something happen. And the pitch is back to Rodney Hampton. And And the surge gets him to about the 41, gain 2.5 or 3.
Yeah, there's Randall Cunningham. Yeah, I mean, it's good to see that. I mean, he's up there. A guy throws a interception, a guy that's just taking your place, and come up and pat him on the back. Now, Dan Reeves knows that he has to call some plays that are going to get first down. You know, you don't think touchdowns here. You got to think, let's keep the ball. Let's get some first downs.
2nd and 7. Brown back to throw it. Wheels it outside to Chris Callaway. And that'll move the sticks. First down, Giants. The Eagles tried to blitz, but never did look very certain about what they were doing.
Yeah, it looked like it was a run blitz. You know, that they weren't, it wasn't a blitz. You have two kinds of blitz. You blitz the run, and you kind of try and fill gaps, or you blitz against the pass when you try and rush the passer. That looked more like a run blitz than a pass blitz.
1st and 10. Giant ball at the Eagle 30. Hampton. 2 maybe. There's the defensive coordinator for the Eagles, Bud Carson.
He just played an interesting defense that last one, Pat, where he only played with 3 defensive backs. In fact, he's still in it now. He has 4 defensive linemen, 4 linebackers, and 3 defensive backs.
The old college defense.
Yeah, it is a college defense because the Giants are playing 2 running backs and 2 tight ends.
4 linebackers, 4 down linemen, 3 defensive backs, and the handoff goes to Hampton. Rodney Hampton gets to the 25, picked up most of that on his own, stopped by Zordich and Britt Hager.
And the guy that's out is the corner, Mark McMillan. He's right down here in the sideline. So if the Giants stay 2 tight ends, 2 running backs, then they will stay 3 defensive backs.
Here comes McMillan.
Yeah, McMillan comes back in now, and then you see a linebacker come out. So now they're going back to their 4-3-4.
Vaughn Johnson came out. He was one of the 4 linebackers. 3rd and 6. Big down for everybody. Pierce went in motion. Outside is Hampton. Nobody is close. He'll have a first down and more. Hampton down to about the 11. Greg Jackson finally made the stop, but Rodney Hampton had a lot of room.
Well, what they did is they got everyone going to the right side. They got the motion, you know, coming out here. They get everything going here. They come down here and then just take Hampton and run him here after they've run that part of the defense off. You see, you get the motion come out here. That brings them out here. You run off the top side. That runs everything off. And then Hampton has that whole left side of the field to work.
And now the Eagles are back in that 4 linebacker defense. Timeout called by Philadelphia. So they have 2 left, as do the Giants. 4:38 left to play in the game. Rich Kotite, whose team leads by a touchdown.
Life, you can expect great things from the great taste that's never watered down.
Back at Veterans Stadium, the Eagles and the Giants. 13-6 Philadelphia leads. The Giants have had the opportunities in the red zone. 2. 1 field goal they got. They lost a fumble down here. 1st and 10 at the 11. Rodney Hampton behind Dave Brown. Hampton carries some Eagles, including Zordich, to about the 5. Fuller also involved in the tackle.
Yeah, you can feel the urgency in this Giant team now because, as we said earlier, they know that if they don't win today, there's no playoffs. I mean, their season's over. They play next week, but there's no chance of a playoff, and now it all boils down to 4 minutes.
2nd and 4. At the 5. Brown fakes. Pass was deflected just as he let it go, incomplete.
I'm surprised they didn't come back to a run here because I would think that they have to think of 4 downs because they need they need a touchdown here. They're not going to go for a field goal. They're going to go for it on 4th down.
Fuller got a hand on it. Well, they have to go for it now.
Yeah, but and then you were thinking on 2nd down run, 3rd down run, and then have 4th down. I was surprised they passed on 3rd down, on 2nd down.
Now it's 3rd down. And the handoff is to Megan. Touchdown. Megan gets the touchdown.
And the Giants have to go for one. I know you can think, you go for a win here. Do you try and get the 2, or you go for one? You have to go for the tie. You have to get tied first. This is the only call that Dan Reeves can make. Watch Dave Megan here. He never touches the ground, Pat. He just goes up, and then he just stays right on top of the defender, and he just rolls right into the end zone. His knee never touched. He was just down, and he just rolled right over the Eagles.
Daiuso for the tying extra point, as you said. They'll go for the tie for the 1 point. The extra point is good. And it's all tied up at 13 apiece.
Dave Megan's a tough guy. I mean, he runs inside, outside, punt return, does all those things, has that quickness. One thing he's not going to do, he's not going to fumble. He starts to go sideways there, but it doesn't look like the knee goes down. Now, had that left knee gone down, the ball shouldn't have been a touchdown. If the left knee doesn't go down, if he just rolls over the Eagle defender, then it's a touchdown.
Well, that's what the official on the side saw, and he was the first one to call touchdown.
So he had to say that he just rolled over sideways, that his knee never did touch the ground. But that's what the Giants needed. I mean, they just did what they needed. They needed a play from their defense. Their defense got it. Then their offense had to take it and move it and get it in. Here's the other angle there. Did his knee touch or not? It looked like that left leg did touch the ground before the ball was in the end zone.
But remember, that was 3rd down. They would have had another shot, and he was far enough for a 1st down, so they might have had 5 more shots.
Well, you can't beat this, huh, Pat? A tie game. It looked like a possible overtime.
Full moon.
Championship, and then a kiss on the field. Where was that? On the football field?
I guess.
Where do these things come from? Do they play around that stuff? Now that dropped out of someone. I mean, who's carrying candy on the field?
Whoever's carrying pretzels.
Someone got hit down there in the goal line. The candy kiss jumped out of it.
This is Jeff Seidner. Fumble. And the Giants say they have it. Seidner got up to about the 35. And the ball came loose, and the Giants do have it.
Rich Kotite had everything going his way, and then he had 2 turnovers.
Right.
The interception, and then his special teams were doing so well. And here the Giants special teams come up and make a play. We said someone had to make a play. The defense made a play, and here the special teams is going to make a play just by recovering an interception, because I think Seidner hit his own man here. Watch, a ball in his left hand, and I think that's Mike Zordich. He just hit Mike Zordich with his left arm, and the ball popped out. Woo.
1st down, Giants at the Eagles 37.
Well, this thing was kind of boring going into that. Now it's getting exciting.
Things do turn around, don't they? And a flag comes flying on the play as Hampton starts to his left. Howard Cross might have moved early.
Ball starts before the snap. 87 offense. 5 yards, still 1st down.
Yeah, we're finding more stuff on this field. Just stuff that pops out at guys when they get hit. That's all I can say it is.
That's a broken eagle, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, it can be anything. I mean, that's just, guys got stuff inside of them, and then you got combinations, you're carrying stuff, you're packing stuff, you get hit, boom. The stuff just pops right out and just stays right on the field.
The loser of today's game is eliminated from the playoff chase. This is Rodney Hampton. And others. William Thomas.
One thing, they did run at the fridge. You know, you always say that you can't run at the fridge. They got him turned a little on that play. I think it was Scott Davis in there. Just got him turned a little and ran right outside him.
There's the old pretzel.
Yeah, well, the guys have snacks.
If you're going to move the fridge, you got to give him turned.
Yeah, and I'm not saying the fridge had any snacks out there, but I'm saying guys that have to block the fridge need some snacks.
2nd and 12. The handoff is to Meggett, who tried to throw it back, I believe, to Dave Brown on a flea flicker. But the Eagles were there too quickly.
The Eagles just swarmed this whole thing. You can see the handoff here, and I agree with you, but they just take that whole thing in there, and Meggett doesn't have a chance. If he was going to flea flicker, he was smart that he didn't. I think he just got spun around by good defense there. Andy Harmon was in there. They got penetration. The Giant offensive line didn't get anyone blocked on that play.
3rd and 15.
Where Bud Carson likes to blitz.
And here comes the blitz. But they pick it up. And wide open is Meggett. Meggett cuts back to the 10. Meggett cut down at the 11. And bounces down to the 9.
Boy, was that a big play for the Giants. Wow. What a call. What a call. We're going to see, here's Meggett. Now Dave Brown comes and he starts to come out this way. The defense all starts to come this way. Meggett comes out to this side, and there's no one there. Watch as Brown comes here. He's going to come to this side. Meggett just stops and blocks. Then he gets up, and because he blocked, no one guards him. No one's watching him. And look at him in that backside. He's wide open.
2 minutes left. The loser leaves the playoff picture. And the Giants, of course, are well within field goal range.
And that was a big play by the Giants and Dave Meggett and Dave Brown. Meggett was a blocker, and I think he was supposed to stay in and block.
That's Hampton straight ahead to the 5. Just don't fumble.
I think the Eagles ought to start taking their timeouts now.
And there's one of them.
Yeah, the Giants obviously don't want to. Let's watch that big play again. And we're going to see, here's Meggett here. Now he's going to block, and when Brown goes to this side, Meggett gets up, and when he sneaks out here, there's no one out there at all. But watch him. He's in there. He steps in. He's blocking William Thomas. He's down. You see Brown looking. He was trying to throw to the right. Meggett, very alert after he blocked and knocked Thomas down, jumped up and ran away the opposite way that Dave Brown had rolled.
Dave Meggett in games, particularly against the Eagles, always seems to stand tall.
I know, you know, it's guys like Dave Meggett that come up in big games. I mean, make plays, big plays in big games. Bud Carson is saying, what do you have to do? I mean, there's no way that he knew where Dave Meggett come from. No. There's no way that you could have planned that play. You know, said block, cut the guy, fall down, jump up, roll away from him, throw back. That wasn't a play.
A minute, 51 seconds left to play. 2nd down. The give is to Hampton. And the Eagles take another timeout. For those of you expecting to see Encounters, The Hidden Truth, it'll be seen following football except on the West Coast, where it'll be seen at its regular time. Following football, Encounters, The Simpsons. Third and goal at the 4. A minute 44 left. The Eagles have used all of their timeouts. Daluiso loosening. He's loose.
Yeah, and the Eagles, of course, are trying to save some time for their offense. You know, that they know that the Giants are probably going to score here one way or another, either a field goal or a touchdown, and they're going to get the ball back, and by taking their timeouts here, that's going to give them offensive time.
Brister still trying to get loose. Randall Cunningham.
Well, if Brister's a competitor and a fiery guy, this is when you need a competitor and a fiery guy when they get the ball back.
The end of this game.
They will get it.
Excuse me, John. Handoff. Rashid. Giants signal touchdown. No one else does.
Now, this is going to be a call here because the Giants, if they don't get it, they have to kick the field goal.
And the clock is still running in the meantime.
Watch Rashid. He's the fullback. He's the lead guy. He gets the thing going, but he didn't get the ball across.
No.
See, he was down before the ball crossed the plane.
Started to say a minute ago, at the end of the game, John and I will select the Miller Lite player of the game. Right now, I'd have to think about it a little bit.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, that big play that got him down there, the defense really started it for him because they needed a big play. They got the interception. The offense scored. And I'd say right now, if you had to pick one, it'd have to be Dave Meggett.
Yeah, I think so.
He was the guy that, you know, got the touchdown, the tying touchdown. He was also the guy that got him in position to do what they're going to try and do now.
This is a Giant timeout. So they have one left. Daluiso with time to think it over. Today's game is being produced by Bob Stinner and directed by Sandy Grossman. The studio is produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. Executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill.
And this is the kind of battles that I remember the Giants and Eagles, not the players, not the big name players like used to have, but just going down to something like this. It seemed like over the years, it was always a game like this.
Kent Graham to hold. Daluiso to kick 18 yards out. About the shortest field goal he'll ever try. And he drills it right down the middle.
He wasn't going to leave any doubt on that, was he? He hit it like it was hitting a driver.
The Giants 16, the Eagles 13. The Giants need a victory to keep their playoff hopes alive. They play Dallas next Saturday.
Of course, the Eagles were coming into this game thinking the same thing, that they were playing today's game like a playoff game. If they win today, then they win next week, they'd be in the playoffs.
Here's Daluiso.
And here's the drive. This isn't a wedge. This is a drive. This is taking out your driver when you have about 20 yards to go.
That had about 40 yards to spare.
I think that went to New Jersey.
Yeah. Across the river. 16-13. 54 seconds remain. No timeouts left for the Eagles.
Well, the Eagles will get, they don't have any official timeouts left, but after the kickoff, they'll get the clock will stop in time of possession, on the change of possession.
Daluiso just hit the field goal to put the Giants ahead. 16-13 will kick it off. And in all likelihood, will bounce it to the Eagles. Seidner and Walker, the deep men. The bounce to James Joseph. And the Giant coverage is down and keeps him upright as long as they can to run the time down more. The Miller Lite player of the game, as you said, John, it has to be Dave Meggett.
Well, he came up big.
Yep.
And they needed plays. He has a bad ankle. In fact, at the end of the season, he's going to have ankle surgery. But they needed a big game out of someone today, and they got it out of Meggett, especially the second half.
The same guys usually step up, don't they? Yep. Brister fires out of bounds to Bailey. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League, is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Philadelphia Eagles and the National Football League is prohibited. The loser of today's game is eliminated from the playoff picture.
Yeah, the thing is, the Eagles only need another pass completion or two here to get the field goal and tie this thing up again.
43 seconds left. Brister. Pass is caught, and they move closer. Fred Barnett. That's a first down.
The Eagles have to get up to the line of scrimmage and throw the ball down.
Less than 30 seconds now.
Yep, they have to get the ball and just stop the clock. They don't need a play because it's not first down.
It isn't first down. It was a yard shy. Now, you still got to go, don't you?
Yeah, you have to. I mean, they still need another completion. And then if they get the completion, that'll also be the first down, so then they can get up and just throw the ball down again. They have time to do it.
22 seconds left. They have time to tie it, time to win it.
I think you think first to tie it. I think you first, just complete a pass and get in position to try a field goal.
That's Walker in motion. Flag on the play. The Giants might have jumped offside. The pass to Walker is incomplete. I think the Giants jumped early. That'll give the Eagles the first down.
I'll tell you, and that'll also put the field goal try would be within 50 yards now.
Right.
That is 5 yards.
It is offside against the Giants. There's Eddie Murray. Been around a long time, been in pressure situations.
Number 74, defense.
Eric
5
Howard.
yards. The penalty is sufficient for a first down.
And right now, that would be a 50-yard field goal try right here from this point for Eddie Murray. Or for anyone who kicks it, 50 yards away.
18 seconds left. They're going to try to get him closer.
They better be smart and trying, though. You don't want to take any chances.
Brister back to throw. Fires it out to James Joseph, who gets out of bounds, and that stops the clock with 13 seconds left. Giants up by 3. They move closer for Murray.
I don't know. I think I'd go to field goal right now.
With no timeouts, I think so too.
Yeah, I think now you're really flirting with it, because if you get a penalty, if you get a sack, if you get anything, if your guy can't get out of bounds, you can't get up to the line of scrimmage, the game's over.
Yeah. 49 yards the field goal attempt would be from here. Brister can't get out of bounds. Not out of bounds.
They're flirting with it.
Clock's running. 3, 2. Can't do it. Game's over. Giants win. Well, they're still having a conference.
You know what happened? The Giants picked up the ball and started to run with it, so I think the officials blew the whistle, Pat.
Well, maybe so.
I think they're going to let him throw the ball down here.
The scoreboard clock says the time ran out. And now he kills the clock. And that one, I need an explanation. Now the whole Giant team is out on the field.
Well, I think in killing the clock, Pat, the clock started, and that probably took the time off.
And the discussion's still going on. Dan Reed's not sure, I'm sure. Neither is Rich Kotite. I saw Gordon McCarter put up 2 fingers like 2 seconds.
And I think probably in the 2 seconds, that probably took the time off. Boy, this means so much, too. This is the Eagles' whole season right here.
This began all last July for both these teams.
At the conclusion of the second last play, there was 2 seconds remaining on the clock. We must put 2 seconds back on the clock. And Philadelphia will wind the clock on the right.
Gordon McCarter trying to explain, can't get it done, but he said we got to put 2 seconds back on the clock. Giants lead by 3 points. Now the 2 seconds have been put back on the clock. Do they have to stop the clock again? This is the last play.
This is the play where he went down. Now, you see, he didn't get out of bounds.
Nope.
But one of the Giants pick up the ball from him and takes the ball and runs up the field with it. And then they stop the clock right there to get the ball back. But I thought that was, when they brought it back, I thought that was 2 seconds.
Murray's out on the field. 2 seconds have been put back on the scoreboard clock, so Murray will have a chance to try, I think. And now they're still arguing. New York just took a timeout, I believe, to stop the clock, to give Murray a chance to think about it, or either to give Dan Reeves a chance to talk to the official.
I think the Eagles got 2 extra seconds
I think
back,
they did.
because I think there could have been 2 seconds of the play before that. But then in taking the ball and throwing it down, the clock has to start again then too. And I think that should have run the 2 seconds off.
Well, he didn't get out of bounds. Clock really should have never stopped.
Well, one of the Giants picked up the ball and started running with the ball. So I think they stopped the clock because of that with 2 seconds. Then Bubby Brister, when he snapped the ball, that would start the clock again.
Right.
So I think they already used up these 2 seconds.
Let's see what happens now. Eddie Murray's already in the game with Barker out there as holder. 2 seconds have been put back on the scoreboard clock. This will be from 45 yards out by Murray if they do get a chance to kick. Eddie Murray from 45 yards. That's just about his maximum range. No good. Eddie Murray misses from 45. And the Giants, after all the discussion, win to stay alive, 16-13 over the Eagles. The Eagles are out of the playoff picture.
Whoa.
Eagles out of the playoffs. What a finish.
I'll tell you, that was really something. I'll tell you one thing, both these teams have had their ups and downs this year, but they came out here and they fought with everything today.
Wasn't a spectacular game by any means. Just pretty much what you expected from these two teams. And here's Murray's attempt. One last time.
You can see that,
Hooking.
as you said, he had to put everything into that, and I think that he kind of line drive it because he really didn't have enough leg for that one. Well, it was down there. You see that it just starts going to the left.
Just starts hooking.
Keeps hooking. Boy, how close it is, isn't it? As you said, they started back in July, and the whole season comes down to that.
The final score here at Veterans Stadium. The Giants 16, the Eagles 13. Coming up, it's the post-game report. J.B. Terry and Howie will get you up to date on all today's NFL action with scores from around the NFL. That's all next on the post-game report.
NFL Sunday post-game show. For those of you expecting to see encounters, we will get you to that program in just a bit. And, of course, the Simpsons will come your way at 8 o'clock Eastern time. A wild finish, Giants and the Eagles. Terry, now we heard John Madden indicate that with 13 seconds left, no timeouts remaining for the Eagles, he would have gone for the field goal at that distance as opposed to taking a chance. A wild, controversial finish got the Eagles more yardage. Would you have gone for it then?
Pat Summerall said that his distance, his maximum distance, was 45 yards.
Okay.
50, in other words, 50-yard field goal attempt, pretty much you say he cannot make. 13 seconds left, JB, with no timeouts, and you saw the attempt at a sideline pattern. You can get a ball off under 4 seconds easily and get it out of bounds. You can actually run 2 plays inside of 10 seconds if you're efficient with your 2-minute offense. Good job by the Giants in taking away the flat route, kept the corner up, and didn't allow him to go ahead, catch the ball, and run out of bounds. So I agree with the decision. Unfortunately, there was some controversy about 2 seconds, whether or not the clock should have expired. I think it should have. The play was still going. So the Eagles, in effect, got a bonus of 2 seconds. Murray, who, as you look at last year, was 20.